Welcome! How is it going, everybody? I'm still not completely set up, actually. I woke up less than half an hour ago. Should be able to now go... Oh, hold on. Hey, webcam! Yay! Literally seconds to spare. Actually, you know what? No, I was a couple seconds late. Super jank. Let's go ahead. How's everyone doing today? We've got here Scorpio Gaming, Bread Boy, which I don't know if I've seen you around here before, so welcome. Revhang, Broken Ursa, which I know you've got a car in here at least. Says Summer, Flame Z, Ryan Ives? Ryan Ives? I don't think I've seen you around here before either. Jen, welcome back. Crownless, and that's everybody I've seen so far. Welcome. I am flustered and not prepared at all. I'm so underprepared for this. Okay. It's the final countdown. I was playing the long drive still when I checked Discord and saw he was live. It begins. Good. Hello. I know that from somewhere, but I just, on the top of my tongue, the tip of my tongue, I can't remember what that is from. But hello instead. But yes, oh, thank you. Looking dapper. Oh, you're Gasket Case's girlfriend. I was wondering why you said you were watching it for them when they were at work. I was like, what an unusual thing to say. But at least you'll be able to see the ending, which always gets copyright stricken. That's only if you're here live when it happens. Otherwise, it goes bye-bye. Bro, I've been here since 500 subs. You have? God, I'm terrible with names. I'm very sorry. Jesus. Well, let's go and start having a look at today's cars. And we're going to start off with this really kind of funky, cool-looking, what is it, Citroen or, It's one of those French rally cars that had the rear-mounted engine in it. I wonder if this is rear engine? Yes, it is. Oh, they fit a big V6 in here with mechanical fuel injection. Ah, mechanical fuel injection. Am I right? Or am I right? I love mechanical fuel injection. It's an unhealthy obsession. Also, is that an intercooler or is that a radiator? Does this have turbos? No turbos. Ooh. Interesting. So, it won't have as much torque as what you would expect from a rally car. But I'm assuming with that big of a V6 in the back, it's going to have a lot of power. I am, however, concerned it's a very short wheelbase, meaning that this thing is going to want to rotate too much. Renault 5, yeah, that's the one. And yeah, see, turbo. Everyone's writing that it's a turbo version. So, let's have a look. This should be an all-wheel drive version, I believe, because the Renault 5 Turbo was all-wheel drive, correct? No, maybe I'm wrong. I don't actually know where the Renault Turbo 5 fits in the timeline. I love it. I think it's a really cool car. I just don't know in the timeline where it fits with Group B and all that sort of stuff. So, this car, I'm guessing, is going to rotate and just spin out at every single chance. Oh my god, look at the size of those rear tires. They are ginormous. Oh my god. And then the fronts are like a normal size. So, you know what, maybe they've overcome the oversteer with having minuscule front tires in comparison only to the rear tires. Jesus. That is insane. Also, we have a fairly small wheel compared to tire. So we're not going to fit very big brakes under there, but it is a rally car. So as long as the brakes can lock up, it's good enough. And locking up on dirt isn't particularly hard. But let's have a look, see what they've done. Two piston. Okay. We do have an interior, we'll have a look at that in a second. Then in the back we also have two piston, but they don't look maximum sized. But then again, this is rally, so overheating isn't as big of an issue. If you're on like bitumen, oh boy, this would be a terrible setup because the wheels are so tiny, because the tires are also quite tiny. But by God. Alright, so we have interior in this thing. And a big red shifter in the middle. I mean, I thought this would have been a manual. At most, this could have potentially been a sequential. But this is more like a dual clutch sort of setup by the looks of it. Because you got the offset for neutral, whereas for a, what do you call it? Sequential. You just put it into neutral by going down like third, second, first, neutral, then reverse. Odd choice. Don't get it myself, but okay. Whereas reverse, you just keep going backwards. Which, this one is to tap it forwards to go backwards. Which, I also... Yeah, alright, no, that is correct. You pull it towards to, like, go up gears, push it away to go negative gears. Alright, fair enough. It's a sequential box fill? Okay. I will trust you. But usually, yeah, sequentials don't usually have a out notch for those sorts of things. Also, I probably would have made the inside inline, whatever you want to call that, black. Aside from that, I do like it a lot. There's no radio, but it is a full beef dash. I get the feeling that they probably would have removed that a lot for this sort of stuff. Carbon fiber steering wheel? I don't know about that as well for a car so old. But then again, I don't think I know the year of this vehicle because this one was uploaded as a zip. And most people doing their zips didn't give me a date on their thing. But yeah, so I love this thing. This thing looks cool. I'm not sure about the wing stands going into the cabin like that. But I suppose they've tried to justify their choice of wing stand by having a roll bar go there to make it look like it's meant to be like that. Wait, hold on, no. That's entirely custom. I thought that was the F1 side part for the wing that they just chucked in there. So that was a choice deliberately. And it's going through the glass. So I'm not entirely sure about that. So let's have a look. No, that was the wrong one. For wings. Okay, so we have a wing down here, which looks to be quite small, actually. Then we got the fairly big wing there. We've got an invisible wing here. Very high as well, so I'm assuming that they're expecting this thing to go over jumps. Anything else on the inside? There is no other hidden wings, just the one on top. Okay, so... I get the feeling this thing will be good. But I'm also quite skeptical, considering that the rear wings are smaller than what you would think, and that front wing is actually quite big that's hidden, that this thing might have a problem with oversteer. Which, on dirt, may sound good, but the problem is you want to induce the oversteer, not have the car induce the oversteer, because then it becomes slower through the corners. Small wings means he's not compensating? Fair enough. Pretty sure carbon fiber wasn't used in rally cars in the 1900s. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. By the way, is it okay to upload as a car.car? The exporter is dying of death. You can upload as a .car, but when the new update comes and then the saves are invalidated, I'm probably going to just ditch all of the .cars and I'm only going to use the .zips, and then I'm going to have a new format for submitting cars, which should help us get through them a lot quicker. And that will be available once the new update is implemented, and I will do an announcement video for that. So, at your own peril? Oh yeah. Also, if I import cars, a lot of the times, dot cars, that is, there's a lot of discrepancy between what you've sent and I've received due to whatever reasons. And things go wrong very often. As you may remember the episode, the one stream that we did, where most of the cars had 3-piston brakes. And I had people afterwards like sending me screenshots going, yeah, no, they weren't 3-piston, that's an issue. Which ruined the cars quite badly. Oversteer boy and brake fade boy? I don't know. Because it is on dirt. I'm pretty sure on bitumen this thing would struggle with brake fade. But on dirt it's probably going to be considerably better because you're going slower. That's the first thing. The second thing is you're not having like huge amount of traction pushing those wheels through the brakes. You just basically want to lock up and just let the car slow down by basically skidding and shoveling dirt out of the way. I'm having problems with the audio player for some reason. So I'm finding I have to like partially Alt-Tab to get music to play. Completely off topic, but the dude next to me at the car inspection station has the worst toupee I've ever seen. Oh dear. Guess I'll wait for the new update then? Yeah, or you could just upload a .zip. You're gonna play the new update when it's open beta? I didn't realize it was gonna go into open beta first, but hell yes! I'm so looking forward to being able to, like, change tires in so many new different ways. That is going to be so good for Formula 1 cars that I make. And that's kind of why I haven't uploaded Formula 1 videos. Because, like, I was doing the Formula 1 videos, I was really liking them. The whole wing thing was getting a bit shitty because Lotus... and then also it's like the same car body, just slightly... Anyway. When I saw that the update was going to have this new tire stuff for the first time, I was like, alright, I'm waiting. Like having the stretch, super wide, what do you call it? Cross plies. And then being able to have different sizes on the front. Which is everything I've been wanting from the Formula 1 cars. But I've been doing it all custom. So I would export 2 different versions of the car. Then I would modify the things to have stretch. Then I would modify the mesh to be like that. Then I would drag in a renamed version of the car into the thing and then change the DAE's wheel names, and then I would give them stretch, then I'd modify the amount of stretch in the real thing, and then I would change the names, and then I would finally have the whole setup that I wanted. It was a real pain in the ass. But I still enjoyed it a lot. But this update is going to make it so much easier. And that's why I think they saw my struggle. I think somebody over at Automation HQ saw what I was doing. I was like, I think it would be cool if we implemented something that could help people out like him out. And I think it was me specifically. I don't like to toot my own horn, but this was never anything that they were ever going to do until I started doing a lot of it. So, just grow my nose a little bit more because I'm a little bit into myself now, apparently. Philman looks like his name would be Andrew. What? Also, welcome, Dinozario. How's it going? Can't wait for turbo update? Yeah, the turbo update. Yeah. I would like to be able to... So, twin turbos on inline 6s was because back in the day, the bigger a turbo got, the less efficient it was. So they would have 2 smaller turbos and get the same sort of efficiency. But turbos these days, especially ball bearing turbos, don't really get less efficient as the turbo gets bigger. So a lot of the times now they just run one big turbo. But now there's the thing like sequential turbos and all that sort of stuff. But the twin turbo thing that was like really popular in the 90s and the early 2000s died off. And that was because it was literally technology and cost as to why they would have 2 smaller turbos. Big felt and proper drag car, yes. Once I was making a car in automation and I was going to change the tire size, but it glitched in the... I've had a few glitches similar to that as well. It just completely bugged out. I've not had it in a long time though, and I think that's because I just got better at avoiding it. I don't know if it's been fixed, but I haven't seen it in a long time. First thing I'm doing after update, check what mod broke. A lot of mods I'm going to assume are going to be immediately outdated, so I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell. Holy crap, you pronounced my name properly. If you say so. Welcome, Stefan Maxwell Fuchs. How's it going? Mr. Andrew, greetings. I'm not Andrew. Screw twin turbos on inlines. I want single turbo boxer engines. Okay. Then you're getting into verticality issues. Unless you want to have it like in front, then you're getting into heat soak issues. You can't exactly have it on top, can you? Because then you're getting in the way of the intake manifold. But single turbo boxer engines, that one's a bit weird. But I suppose if that's what you're into? Alright, have you tried, unless you want to have like unequal length headers where you got like a short one this side and like a really long one that has to go all the way around to the turbo to get to the side of the engine. Which is a long way because it's a boxer engine. I have done a fair bit of fun in Kerbal Space. I used to do streams on it over on Twitch when I used to use Twitch. Which I don't anymore, really. I might in the future. But for now, I'm quite happy on YouTube. Well, actually not really happy because I'm not getting paid. Because YouTube won't send me a freaking pin to, like, verify my address. God damn it. BMW still use twins on N50... I don't know, maybe it's actually a size, like a compactness thing to fit the engines into the small engine bay. That is also another factor. I completely forgot about that. I wonder if having two smaller turbos will actually fit better in an engine bay. Now, I know that in automation, you're really off-put from putting in big engine bay filling engines in the vehicles. But BMW has no such qualms, and they will pack the engine bay so goddamn tight that you can never work on it without dropping the entire engine out. It's ridiculous! Why? Why is that something that BMW does? I don't get it! Plus on that last name? No, I'm gonna go with Fuchs. My teacher said video games can't teach you automation. Allow me to introduce myself. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe although they switched to single scroll on 2010s. I want 4 turbo on V16. Oh, yes! That is actually something I've been looking to do. The Bugatti EB110 was my childhood car that I loved so much. And that was a quad turbo... You know what? It's been a very long time. I think it's a... I know it's a small engine. It might be a V12. God, yes, you're preaching to the choir. My car is a bitch to work on. That's the power of German engineering. So, the Germans have different culture to us. Their culture is, but we're allowed to do it. That's literally their culture. But we're allowed to do it. So, they will do anything. And it's okay. Because we're allowed to do it. It's so weird. Volkswagen tried to argue their whole Dieselgate thing where they, like, lied about their emissions testers. They lied because they were like, but no, it only has to pass the test. We're allowed to do that. That was their, like, one of their big arguments. But we're allowed to do it. There's nothing saying that we're not allowed to do it. And then the EU was like, no. We just didn't specify it. You're being pedantic and a shit. My man, I'm still waiting for a Formula 1 mod on the cars. I'm going through them sequentially with every big update, but I'm waiting for the tires update for me to be able to, like, completely do that. Blah, blah, blah. Automation is one of the main reasons I was the first to pass my mechanics exam in college. Nice, I love it. We need W10, W16. I mean, W engines would be nice, but honestly, with the way technology is going these days and the fact that we're going through the years as this game is still being developed some 8 years later, we need electric motors first. Maybe diesels as well. But electric motors are a very much part of modern day cars and have been for quite some time now. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like EV cars, but that doesn't change the fact that, like, all supercars now basically are all hybrid. Some are complete electric, but basically hybrids from, like, the big names that we know and love. Like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Volvo Polestar, Toyota Prius. Do you already have a name for the mod? What mod are you talking about? Also, welcome, BeamNG. What the hell is that name, guy? My God. Welcome, Rainbow Goddity 404 Zans. That is quite the name. If they ever add EVs and hybrids, I think I would... if it is paid DLC, I'd be happy to pay it. Automation has given me enough playtime. I'm getting close to 1,000 hours. Yeah, 753 hours. So 3/4 of the way to 1,000 hours. I would pay for more DLC. The i20 rally car looks nice. Okay, cool. You're Dutch? Well, that's just a regular name in Dutch? Deutsch? Anyway, so, next we have this Porsche-looking sort of car. So it is the Porsche body that is what's giving me the biggest vibes of Porsche, obviously, and also the round headlights, because nothing else really fits on this body. Like, it's like peas and carrots. This body and round headlights just go together. Trying to do another one, you have to work so hard to, like, imagine a new way in which it could be. But yeah, we got a Porsche-type body here. We got no interior, unfortunately. We do have the big grate there on the rear, so I'm guessing rear engine, but it could be mid-engine, because this body, I think, also lends itself to a bit of mid-engineness. No, we have a rear engine flat six. Okay, so yeah, this is straight up a Porsche then. Do we have turbos? Yes, we do have turbos. And they put the turbos in front. Oh, I didn't know automation did that, but apparently they do. So you can have the subframe going right through the middle of it. Genius! But anyway, yeah, I know that a lot of these boxer engines, when you're doing it on automation, just puts the turbos underneath, which is so stupid. But yeah, that's better. I mean, I personally would have put it behind the engine, so then you don't have the exhaust having to wrap down and around and, you know, heat up the engine block and everything. But yeah, sure, okay. It's a fairly basic car. I do like the Naka ducts being different colors. That's kind of that contrasty sort of look that they've got going here. Other than that, it looks a little bit flat. Not a whole lot of extra detail going on in the car to make you think that, hey, this could be like a very powerful car. You got the big wing, sure. We do have, and a lot of you may have spotted this, a fake wing on the front. So we will check that out when we get the car done. Yeah, so let's see. Is there actually no interior? Nothing here. Yeah, okay. So they haven't hidden an interior with a non-transparent windshield. Welcome, Scorpio Gaming. How's it going? Now it's a Volkswagen Beetle? Yeah, sure, okay. Bruh, it's only got 151 horses? This car? Oh dear. They put actual Porsche taillights but backwards. They do look like Porsche taillights, and yeah, I think I agree. I'm pretty sure those are backwards. That's funny. And then they've given it the Ellie number plates. Now, Ellie is a fine number plate. Don't get me wrong. But it is a reference to the Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds. Like, both of the Gone in 60 Seconds. The original from the 70s and the one from the late 90s, early 2000s sort of period. Yeah. So please don't use Ellie unless you're making something like a Mustang. Preferably something like a Cobra GT 500 sort of looking thing. I just wish there were more mid-engine hatchbacks. Yeah, alright, sure. I was here from the start of the stream. You said, did I? God damn it. I have such a bad memory. I'm sorry. Is that Elite? It is Elite. My bad, sorry. But yeah, Ellie is short for Eleanor most of the time. So Eleanor from the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise. My bad. I hate the 2011 cars that come with the game. Yeah, they are a bit weird. Also, not having any cars after 2012? Really? Not having 2021 as a year option in this game? What? Mid-engine hot hatch can be hairy though? Yeah, sure. Gonna get sued by Eleanor right holders. Oh my god, yeah. That's funny. Don't even use Eleanor or you'll end up like beers for... Yeah. Welcome, I'm 3 Firebird with a PH. Okay. Just tuned in and will have to leave again shortly for dinner, but I love these presentations and the insight. Ah, thank you. Revhang knows what's up? Yeah. I do remember that. So I'm also not like a huge Beers for Build fan. He just seems a bit flat. I mean, I watch a lot of his stuff, but even still, he's no Richie B. Kid or Rich Rebuilds. That guy is so goddamn funny. But, I mean, yeah, he's a bit flat, he's a bit more... I do feel bad the fact that he's going through cancer, and I do wish him a speedy recovery, though. Nothing against his person. He seems like a nice person. He's just a bit bland as a YouTuber. I remember when I first heard about him, like when the Eleanor scandal happened, I looked at his older stuff. His older stuff was actually a little bit more interesting. He's just a bit, comfortable. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at this, vehicle using the Lister Storm body. Now, the weird thing about the Lister Storm is it looked like it would be a mid-engine car, but it was always a front engine. So let's see if they've gone with front or mid. Okay, they don't have front engine. We have push rod and full carbon fiber chassis, all-wheel drive, and 2 pistons on the front. Hopefully they've balanced out the brakes. Also, that is not aero on the front. So that's problematic. This could be aero. I'm not actually sure what it is that I'm looking at here. So when we get this over, we're going to have to check to see if this has actually got any front aero. Could be just an incredibly unbalanced aero car. Then we have really big front tires, which means that they may have driven this car and then realized that it doesn't have real front aero. I mean, it has these little canards, which are little mini winglets, so they will create downforce. So maybe they realized that this thing understeered a lot, and they put big front tires on, which means that we're probably going to have some weird, like, not great grip issues going on. Anyway, moving to the back, we have, a big Boxer 6. And that is a big engine, too. And yeah, it's turbo, but the turbos this time are behind the engine. How does that work? What? I don't know. That is weird. That is very weird. How does automation dictate whether things are going to be in front or behind the engine? Weird. Hold on. Is the transmission Oh, it's a mid-engine. That's why. So it's not actually behind the engine. It's just the engine is switched around because it's not rear engine, it's mid-engine. Okay, yep. My bad. I thought it was the Persia concept body. Nope, this is a Lister Storm body. Though it is a slightly modified version of the Lister Storm body, it is the Lister Storm body. Like, I know that this is very similar to that French body, but it's not. So, it's a modified Lister Storm body. Trust me. I'm tired of looking at the Lister Persia debut for this. So you do you, Phil. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we have behemoth amounts of rear downforce. So we have a big diffuser here, which is real downforce. Little mini diffusers here, which still look like they'll be generating a decent amount of downforce for their size. And then there's big wing. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. Alright, this wing doesn't look that big on the back. Still, yeah. Oh, also the exhaust come down at an angle. That's cool. I appreciate them trying something new. I like that. Well done. Also like the magnesium wheels. That's pretty cool. Though if it's a carbon fiber car, you think that maybe they would have different wheels? I don't know. Anyway. Then we have this car. This car looks so awesome. It had to be predominantly displayed in the thumbnail of this stream. And all of you have probably already seen the thumbnail. That's how you got here. This car looks cool. Mad props to the creator of this car, which I'll look up when I'm doing the proper full review of this car. But, it looks so good. Like, it's got that mix with that old sort of retro recreation sort of thing with modern wheels and tires. It looks pretty awesome. And like, they've put a lot of effort into this rear diffuser here and everything. I'm not sure if it's a real diffuser and actually creating downforce, which on closer inspection, I don't think it is. They've got like the old school mud flaps on there that look really nice, the wide body. Now, I know that this wouldn't make it into real production because of aerodynamics. So, the way of thinking it is one, frontal area, and two, the sharper the radius of things like corners and edges create turbulence, which is where the biggest amount of drag actually comes from. So like those old 70s cars where they, like the Ferrari 308s and whatnot, where they got like the pointy body and the DeLorean and all that sort of stuff, where they got the really pointy body, those actually had a lot of drag. Like, they may look slippery and pointy and all that sort of stuff, but they had really sharp noses on them. Small, but still quite sharp. So they would generate a lot of drag on those cars. This also, though a little bit rounded, lots of like have a look at the, hold on, let me get into position here. Look at the radius of that. That is a lot of drag and a lot of turbulence. Though I also get the feeling by the looks of it, with this here, though that's in the wrong place actually. That's a bit of an air curtain. This might be a bit of an air curtain as well, which will help deal with that turbulence and stuff. But not fantastically. Because the air curtain needs to come from here and exit here. But then you've got the air curtain here, which will then exit out here, which is going to be quite as effective. But there is a bit of an angle here, so yeah, the air curtain will be a little bit of an effective measure. That's Pagani Huayra wheels? Is that what they are? Okay. I'm not huge on Paganis. Like, I mean, they're cool. They're very fast, but they've always looked a little bit like they got a teenager or like preteen to draw what would look like a wild and wacky car, and they just didn't really have an understanding of aesthetics. So I don't really like Pagani that much. Not my cup of tea. Also, I love the fact that they got these little latches everywhere. I've noticed quite a few of them. Pretty cool. I do love the wide bodies, everything. This car just looks so good. And in the Lancia... Wait, hold on. Is this a Lancia body or an Audi body? Because I know that's a Lancia grille. My brain is not working so well. I only woke up just a little while ago. Ah, it's an 037? Okay then, yeah, alright, cool. Though I get the feeling that this thing might be all-wheel drive. Just guessing, because it is a modern concept. Like, as you can see there, it's got all of the, accoutrement of modern cars, like your LEDs and stuff. Very fancy, very cool. I love it so much. Welcome, Space Warrior, if I haven't said it to you already. Fun fact, there's one Lancia 037 that has been raced in... Oh, the Japanese Touring Car Championship. Nice. Looks like Phil Man love it. I do love this car. That is a Lancia. Okay, yeah. It is the 037 body. It just took me a long time to think of it because the only thing that was coming to mind, and I don't know why, was the Delta. And I was thinking, no, that doesn't look like a Delta. It's square. But the only square car of that time was the Audi Quattro. So yeah, my brain wasn't working too well. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so it is mid-engine like the original 037. And it's rear-wheel drive. Okay. So they've tried to stick with that. Hold on, is that just plain old double wishbone? Okay, interesting. Ah! Okay, let's get underneath. The front and rear tires, there is quite a discrepancy. So if we just move over this way a little bit. Yeah, okay, so the front tires are considerably narrow. Well, not considerably, but quite a bit narrower than the rear tires. Then I see a bit of exhaust popping out there. So I'm guessing, though it's only on one side, I want to play a guessing game now of what this engine is going to be. It's really low, so that made me think of Boxer at first. But it's also only on one side, which means that it's either asymmetric, which is quite common, I suppose, or an inline engine. But it is really far over to the side as well, which leads me to think it's not an inline engine. I get the feeling this might be a V-type engine, and I'm going to guess a V6. I don't know. What do we got? No, I was wrong. It is an inline engine. It's a straight 5. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. It is rear-wheel drive only. Interesting. I mean, I was not expecting an inline 5, but that does kind of fit, like, Lancia's aversion to doing the norm. Like, they made really awesome cars, but they always were trying to push the boundaries and doing things just a little bit different. Not radical, kind of like your old Citroens and stuff like that, but still pretty radical. But yeah, so this is so awesome. Mad props. This is my favorite looking car of the stream. And now I know that we got like this cool old car looking here from like Alfa Romeo sort of thing. And then like somebody redid my fake Rari 1K and then made it actually look really cool. And then this really cool looking truck here. And also the R5 looking mother fricker over there. But this looks so cool. Really well done. Got the ducks in the right place, got the right sort of duckbill wing, which isn't very effective. It's more of a diffuser than anything else, but still really cool. I love the fact that they've got like a modernized sort of looking exhaust tip on there. Though it is dual exhaust. That irks me now. It looks really cool, but they should have had a V-type engine to back that up and not gone with what they wanted. Cars with fake exhausts irritate me. And my car had a fake exhaust. Because it's like a custom aftermarket thing that the previous owners did. It irked me so much. It was connected, but it was still like an inline engine with twin exhausts coming out the back. Not a big fan. Anyway, so on the interior. This was given to me as a .zip as well. So that means that they could have gone in and fixed the shiny interior problem. I mean, it kind of looks like they did it to the dash. But yeah, anyway. Weird clipping here on the default game stuff there. Weird. They also didn't select colors, custom colors for their interior parts, so they've only come out white. When you're placing these things, if you find the colors and then go to like the on-car section, add a color, and then try to match the color to whatever you want it to be, then it will export with colors. But this didn't. Because they didn't select colors, it probably showed like red, green, blue, and they're like, yeah, cool, this looks good. And then it gets over to BeamNG and it didn't export the colors. It's because the maker of these mods didn't properly fully test it, which is fine. I kind of get it. Anyway, also, I wanted to bring up, was it this build? Yeah, this build. This is not that hard to fix. What you do is you go to the 3D fixtures part, and then you get like a wedge, sort of like a semicircle. Semi-sphere. You line up... Oh, what the... Okay. You line up the sharp edge to the dash, and then you rotate the spherical part to come up to line up with here, and then you just stretch and squish it out, or whatever, like stretch it out, expand it out, to make it fill in that gap. Otherwise, you do get, like, a sight line down through here. If you guys really want me to do it, I can do a little video, or a video that just, like, encompasses that. Also, I love this venting sort of... Oh, it's so good. I love this car so much. Also, the racing lines down the side, oh, so good. They could have actually put the racing lines on here. I know that it would have been a little bit trickier. You would have had to place it in 3D, but you could have done it. That would have looked really cool. But I also do like the idea of like the racing lines disappearing into the vent. They both look cool. They're both really awesome. A2 just seems kind of boring. What? It was really underpowered compared to everything, yet it was so competitive. Welcome, Michael Demind. Yeah, I do know that it had a it was kind of, I don't know if it was underpowered, but like it was small. Sorry, not small. It was rear-wheel drive in a all-wheel drive field, so it was problematic. Anyway, we got this kind of Alfa Romeo, kind of a little bit bland-looking body, but still really cool. Now, one of the things that I have to fight myself constantly is making the wheels and tires flush with the outer body. Like, if you look at a lot of older cars, they're actually tucked in under quite a lot. And they also did that as well. They made sure that the tires stayed quite tucked under. And I don't like it, but I am very appreciative. And I don't mind when you guys do it. Though I get the feeling that this one maybe would have come out just a little bit further on the back there. But yeah, I do like when people stick to what cars were really like back in the day. With all of their flaws and faults. I love it and I appreciate it. Very well done. I'm only just a little bit disappointed by how undetailed. There's no like bump stripping down the side. The front grille is a bit bland. I do like the fact that you've gone with a little bit of custom here. Got the little extra spotlight down there. Nothing under the bumper, though. That's very uncommon. A lot of the times they had little vents under here or something like that. But still pretty cool. The tires. Hold on. They're very low profile. And quite wide. Not indicative, once again, unfortunately. Lil Pac-Man, welcome. And welcome, Aisha. How's it going? How do they actually fix the shiny interior? It's the whole thing. The long video on me doing the Formula 1 car video from about a month or two ago, something like that. The complexities of making a Formula 1 car, I think was the title or something like that. Go have a look at that one. There's a lot of things on there, which also includes how to fix the shiny colors issue. So basically what you have to do is you have to open up Blender, select the face of the material that you want to change, then go into the materials file, search for that material name, then change its roughness factor. Now, if you already know a little bit of modding, you'll understand what it was that I was saying there. If you don't, you're going to need to watch the video to understand what it is that I'm trying to get at there. So it's time-consuming and annoying, but not actually that hard if it's something you wanted to do. Cool. All right. Welcome, Tom. How's it going? I believe Tom. If you are the same Tom, I always forget who people are what. One of your cars is here. But yeah, anyway, let's have a look at a bit more of this car with its really big tires, which are not what I would have expected. I actually would have expected this car to probably even have cross splies, but I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the details when we spawn the car for its proper test. Is that drum brake? Yes, it is. Oh, I love it. Bellissimo. Ah, awesome. You've gone, you know what? Nah. This wouldn't have that. Nah, not at all, bro. Yeah, so at least they've done that right. I do also like the, I cannot remember the name of these things that go on the rear windshields. But, I've been working with them myself a lot in automation recently because I love them. But I'm just drawing a blank on their names. I do love them a lot. Anyway, let's have a look at what brakes we have in the front. I see a disc. Ah, it's a solid disc as well. It's also 2-piston. I don't know about that, bro. Anyway, our engine is an inline-4 carbureted engine, naturally aspirated with a cast manifold. So they've also then, with a single overhead cam, which is pretty cool. They've done a lot here to make this quite accurate, which is really cool. Except for the fact that I don't think the wheels and tires are very accurate to this era. Yeah, it's like so good, but yet also they're a sports compound as well. I don't know about that. It's going to brake fade hard? Potentially, it depends. They could have actually got a good setup. Come on, drummers. Me every time I try to slow down in the car with drum brakes. They're not great, I will admit. If someone made 10 cars and posted them on the Discord at the same time, would you make a video about only those cars? No, I wouldn't. I would probably only... At that point, I would go like, nah, screw you, and then only do one of them. Like, there's 2 cars in the same thing from the same person today. I am doing both of them, but that's only because they've only uploaded 2. So, it's not so bad. We have solid disc. We need liquid disc. What? Drugs are bad. Stop it. You should do monthly design challenges like Twin Turbos. I used to do that, but then the people constantly not following the rules and either cheating or just not being that good just got me really frustrated after like my 3rd one. And I've got one just sitting there with all of the car entrances and I've just been like, I don't want to do this. So I started to be like, you know what? I just like to see cars that people are proud of. Like, I know that people like to be challenged. Art through adversity is something that I truly believe in. And these monthly challenges, why people like them, is because it is art through adversity. But I just like to see what people make. Because people kept on uploading cars. They were like, hey, can you check out my car that I'm really proud of? And I was like, I don't really have a lot of spare time in amongst making all the videos. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just review cars that people are proud of? So I made the thing, and then eventually I got around to actually making it as a regular thing. And I do like seeing cars that people are proud of. This probably would have not been submitted to any sort of challenge, probably. But they were really proud of it, and they wanted me to review it. So that's why I do like that. Monthly challenges take a lot of effort to run. And running the build and race videos, which you can join into if you want, those ones are like a monthly challenge video, build challenge video, except you have to do it in like an hour or 2 hours or whatever, and then compete in a race. That's a lot of fun. Bose-Einstein condensed... What? Modern motor trend? What? What? Right, just like power steering. I probably wasn't reading chat enough, and now I'm completely lost and confused. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. When will the next build and race be? There was one just on the weekend, and that will be coming out at the end of the week. There's also going to be more of the Railroads Online stuff. I know it's not like the most popular thing with my viewers. It's very popular elsewhere. This game is blown up on the indie scene. And I also really freaking love it. It's such a fun game. And there will be more videos on there, even if it doesn't get many views, because it's just so much fun. So in the back here, we've got, like, they've kind of done a bit of rear interior. They just haven't finished it off. They could have put a floor in here. Also, the fact that this is a tube chassis? Sure. For a production... See, this looks like... Sorry. A production car. Not like any sort of supercar or a race car. So I'm not entirely sold on that. Especially with the fact that they went with a cheaper 4-cylinder engine. Not some sort of like a GTV6 sort of V6 engine. So I don't know about the tube chassis. That doesn't really fit the theme of the vehicle, unfortunately. Also, these seats are very buckety. Very Alfa Romeo-esque. Also, the seats should be like way back here. You don't want to like open up your car door and then have to kind of like squish into the front to get into your car. Like, there's no way to get your legs in the front here. And then you have no room for your knee. There's no leg room! So, what you do is you have the dash, and then you have the dashboard part come out a little bit more, then have the steering wheel come out a little bit more, and then have the seats back in a normal position. Unless this was meant to have rear seats and they just never put them in. Which is also fair enough. But yeah, so there's a lot of things I like about this car. And just as equally enough things that I don't like about this car. So, I'm 50-50 torn. It'll come down to how it drives and how I feel when I'm actually driving it. That'll probably influence the rest of my score on that one. The footwell doesn't... No, it does have a footwell. As you can see, there is a footwell. It's just... You'd have to slot in sideways and have anorexic legs. So that's kind of the problem there. Who needs knees anyway? Oh, you know what? This vehicle might be for amputees. 29 people are watching? Oh, that's pretty cool. No, it's not a record for me. There's a mod that adds a human-sized dummy. I use that to align everything. I've done a little bit of that myself. I want to do more of it. Oh, no! The dash pokes through. Oh, so here's what they've done. They saw what happened on this little blue car at the beginning, probably on their build, and like there was a big gap. So what they did is they squished the dash up really, really close so then they could close this gap up. Once again, put a quarter-round sphere from the 3D fixtures up along the dash line, and then bring the round part up to here, and then just kind of like angle it so then the line matches up with that, and then stretch it out and make it fit in as good as possible. That does a much better job of filling in. Unfortunately, you've got that poking through, and that is a little irksome bit of detail, which is also going to hurt your score considerably. I also just noticed these seats are fold-forward seats. So you got the one lever, which folds it forwards, which is a fairly modern thing, but I will give you leeway on that. That's fine. But anybody see the issue with what they've got here? Anybody? Is anybody seeing what the issue with these fold-forward levers is? You open the owner's manual and it says, please remove limbs prior to entry. No. Okay, so there is that reason, yes. So it looks like it's meant to have rear seats, but it's been removed. That's not what I'm getting at. Anybody else spotted the issue with the levers? So let me act it out for you this way. I've come up to my car. I've opened my car door. I want to get somebody into the back. I now have to reach across my seat, undo the latch, move it forwards really heavily and awkwardly, as opposed to having the latch on the outside. So you open up the door, use the latch, move the seat forward, get in. The little details don't get past me most of the time. The levers, the handbrakes. So 2 doors with 4 seats, neat. You have to break your back to put them forward. Yeah. It's just French, that's all. So, I mean, it's meant to be an Italian car, but really, this vehicle is built in France. Or Francaise. Franks? Whatever. So, this one is, I believe, using one of my mod bodies. I believe this is the Lotus 25 body or something like that. Whatever. And they've made it into like some sort of weird jet-looking thing. They've got massive front tires, but it is all-wheel drive. So that will help with the oversteer and understeer sort of situation. They've gone with double wishbone and double wishbone. And they've got a big, tall engine in the back here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that another inline 5? No, 6. Okay, inline 6. Cool. I like it. But that's going to affect the handling somewhat. I do like it, though. Then the interior, they got like a really cool dash sort of look up here. Once again, colors didn't export. Refer to my previous notes about how to do colors up. They've also realized that running a drive shaft to the front in this car body creates a bit of an issue. So they've tried to hide said issue with a transmission tunnel. Unfortunately, that will make it just a little bit uncomfortable to sit in. Which leads me to think that maybe that's why they started to make a sidecar, of which there is no legroom in. Yeah, this car, in real life, would be incredibly unbalanced to one side. That is just absolutely bonkers. Formula Jet? Yeah, a little bit. I love the fact that they've got the exhaust poking out right out of the back as well to make it, like, more like the jet thing. Nice. But a very interesting use of one of my mod bodies that I made and put up on the workshop. Riding a horse? Okay. GT cars and automation be like. Bruh, I've been here for like 20 minutes and you have not even noticed me. Oh, Gangster Gamer. Sorry, I probably have noticed you just, yeah. Welcome, Gangster Gamer. I'm sorry. And you have not even Ghost, just not known. It's like the two jets. JETZ. Okay. I think what you're trying to go with like the 2J, except like it's meant to look like a jet. Oh, I see what you did there. Unless you didn't do that, and I'm just an idiot. Anyway, moving on. Death Trap? Yeah, I'm guessing so. I'm guessing that this vehicle is going to be very, very dangerous. Now, let's just have a check. I'm pretty sure it's a turbo. No, it's naturally aspirated. Okay, so this thing might not actually be a complete death trap. We shall see, though. Double sidecar and no more unbalanced. Correct, the Euro driver. And welcome to the stream. Aisha, if you don't understand, I put 3 minutes into the interior and I put effort in the exterior. Scorpio Gaming, welcome. Which car is yours? 2Jets is like a 2J swapped go-kart. That'll look like a jet. Yeah, that's what I thought. If it's not a death trap, where's the fun? Welcome. Ah, this is the proper Thomas. Welcome, Tom. I'm not sure which one it is, but one of these cars is yours. I get the feeling it might be this one. But anyway, my voice is cracking now, apparently. No, there is a car called the 2Jets. Oh! Let's look that up. Oops, that was the wrong. My brain's not working too well. Oh, this car. Yeah, nah. I was going to actually make a mod body out of this. But yeah, that is a pretty cool vehicle. I get what you're going for there with that statement now. Anyway, yeah. Drink water? Yeah, I do feel like I need to drink water. Ryan Cooper, welcome to the stream. These are all fan-made automation cars. So some of them are, like, really cool, like this Lancia 037 type modernized retro recreation sort of thing. Really cool. But then, much like automation, you get a lot of more weird, wacky, kind of bland cars as well. So when people say, "Oh, I don't like automation cars being that are in the BeamNG repository," it comes down to how much effort you put in. You could put in like less effort on the exterior and just come up with a car that looks okay. Or you could do a good job and have a really funky looking car. And I love it. All right, so next is this car. Now, for those of you that remember, this is the Ferrari 1K car that was entirely flawed and problematic as hell, but they've kind of made it look cooler. Much, much cooler. I don't know how it handles though, but at least it looks really cool. Hydrate before you dehydrate? Okay. Wait, I think none of these are mine. Oh, really? Hold on. Are you not Tom 1203? Maybe I'm getting confused. Anyway. And that was the AT... I don't know. I'll have to look that up later. Anyway. To Jet Z? Yeah, I thought so. Broken Madness. What? If your FPS doesn't tank when looking at a car, you don't have enough fixtures. How the hell do you say welcome to a person 3 times? Because my brain don't work good. He's busy reviewing cars. Nope. Oh, okay, you're not that Tom? Okay, well, fine. There's apparently a lot of Toms. There's so many Toms, we might end up with a navigation system. Anyway. Hey Phil, since the new automation update on the 30th of October, most of my mod bodies and I think some of the other things just aren't appearing, and I don't know why, but I think I'll be in the next one with the blue sports car. Okay, cool. And cooler pink Death Destroyer of hopes and dreams. So yeah, I avoid using this rear diffuser because it's broken when it comes over to BeamNG. So I don't know if that's going to actually properly work. But at least it looks really freaking cool. They've done such a cool job. They've got the split window in there, really nice. They've got the 3-seat design. No, they've got a single-seat design. They've got a flat 6 in there. Yeah. I don't know. I actually really don't remember much about my original car. But this looks so much better than what I remember my car looking like. Really cool. I appreciate it. Good job. Well done. What's the Ferrari called, the original one? Fake Rari 1K. This is called the Fake Rari 1K something or other custom. Like Cosworth or something, but I'm not entirely sure. It's not actually that. Brain.exe has stopped working. Yeah, it's caught a bit in a bit of a feedback loop. GT cars look sick thanks to 70s modern automation that let you make sick Euro cars. Yeah, Enduro cars, sorry, yeah. Doug DeMiro Automation Edition. Sure. I've never stolen anything from Doug DeMiro. Anyway, moving on. Diffuser that proves intense lift. No. So, the problem is it either sticks and then glitches out and causes problems for you to drive, or it just falls off. That's the problems with that one. Give me a second. Alright, yeah, just had to mute for a sneeze. Alright, cool. My GT Challenger has the same issue. Okay. Splitter tears off from scraping and... okay. And lifts up the nozzle. So, what you do is you put a fake lip on. Okay, so, for those of you that don't know, lips and diffusers... lips and spoilers do nothing in BeamNG. They don't add downforce. On the other hand, wings do. So you put in a fake lip, which there's some really good looking ones, or just make one out of 3D fixtures or something like that. Just make a really good fake lip, and then put a real wing just above it so it won't scrape the ground, and make it invisible. That's what I do. It's fair, because also BeamNG doesn't have ground effect, which is very common amongst cars. With the rear diffusers, do the same thing. put in a fake rear diffuser, and then lift the wing up. The other thing you can do is the automation sliders, which like tells how much downforce you get from the wings in the downforce section. You can go in there and give it less angle, because in BeamNG, in automation, when you export, the wing dictates the size and shape of the wing, but then the slider dictates how much of an angle it's at. So if you have less of an angle, then it will be less likely to scrape on the ground. But I just generally go the fake stuff and then do the wing angles to the amount that I need. And that's how I'd suggest pretty much anybody does it. You should make a siren on how to make a great automation car. A series on how to make great... I've done like 3, and one specifically about suspension. Which the suspension one is Finland 86 suspensions all over your face, I think was the title of it. Just because I wanted to create a stupid title. Just completely stupid. I didn't want to make a normal title for that video. How can I show off any of my builds? In my Discord. Look at the description. It'll explain it a little bit there. And welcome, IronHo1, to the stream. If you inverted all the aero on an F1 car, how long would it take for it to lift off, assuming the engine powers a propeller instead of the wheels directly? I believe that the wings still maintain the angle. Not entirely sure about that, so you may still end up with downforce. I don't know. I've not actually really looked into it. I deserve more subs? Ah, thank you very much. We're getting there. Well, it's slow at the moment. I'm guessing that it'll also pick up around the automation update time. So yeah, here we go. We got this car. It's a very basic sort of looking car. They've also gone with a wing that detaches or causes issues as well, unfortunately. I wish the mod maker would fix it or just get rid of that mod altogether. Honestly, it's a problem. Because people keep falling for that trap and then wonder, oh, automation to BeamNG is broken. Like, no, it's just those mods weren't made very well. Anyway, so yeah, we got pretty cool stuff here. Got an inline 5. Okay, hold on. Is this another glitch like the 3-piston saga? The 3-piston brake saga? Are these cars not actually 5 cylinders and everything's just exporting as a 5-cylinder? What the hell is going on here? Welcome, DKM, to the stream. The first 1,000 subs are the hardest. I would say that my first 100 was the hardest, and then I set it 150 for like 5 years or something like that. Then suddenly last year when I started to do content on this, which is a game which I played a lot in my own spare time anyway, and I wasn't really doing YouTube at the time because I was bored and just didn't want to do it, suddenly 1,000 subs was easy. What I'm finding hard is my second 1,000 subs. Anyway. Yeet wing? Yeah, probably. Inline 5s are cool. Yes! I love inline 5s, but I get the feeling that this is a glitch and not meant to be like this. Anyway, the exhaust. Yep, we have a turbo inline 5. Dual overhead cams. The interior, non-existent. So, yeah, they've got a big vent here. The problem here with this vent is it's too close to the rear tire. So the air comes in, and then you have to really suddenly re-angle it, or angle it inwards, or anything to get out of the way of that tire. So that is a problem. Though they do have the correct sort of turbo valve, what a turbo Venturi sort of, not Venturi, whatever you call it. The name, I believe, starts with a V. The turbo-style wheels, which suck air over the brakes. Okay, Pancake. The inline 5 of the V10 thing, I kind of get what you're coming at there. But did you know that in the 90s, when Volvo had the inline 5, was thinking of making a more high-performance engine by making a V10 with a very narrow angle. So the reason why they wanted to do that and not like a V12 is because the V10 was a little bit easier to fit in, and it was basically just going to be 2 banks offset of their existing inline 5 engine. Pretty cool, right? I think that would have been so cool. Unfortunately, then they got bought by Ford, and that kind of like idea that they had that they were kind of playing with just died off. Because it didn't have enough steam behind it. Then they ended up getting the Yamaha V8, which I'm okay with. It's not very common here in Australia, but I wish it was, because I would so take one of those engines and put it in my 360 GLT. Turbofan wheels? Okay, yeah, thanks. Two good, one better. What? Also, let's have a look at the drivetrain here. Now, if they've gone all-wheel drive, immediate negative points there. And if they have more than one piston... I don't know, actually the brakes are a bit up in the air. 3 piston! Come on, nah. Then in the back, we have 3 piston. Okay, so maybe it is balanced. I don't know. We'll actually have to drive it to know. I also do see a wing here, and I see that they 3D angled it. So let's tab over to this car. Okay, good. You have to be very careful when working with automation wings. If you angle them, a lot of the time it can glitch it out and give you no wing whatsoever. So generally don't 3D angle it. The sliders for how much downforce you get, that actually angles the wing more. So if you want to have that, that's how you do it, not 3D angling it like what they've done here. Because that can be really problematic. I was referring to the V10. Ah, yes. 2 is good, 1 is better. Okay. I think there's just a little delay. Yeah, there is. Also, my brain don't work so good. We also have another wing up here. And yes, as you see here, this one is glitched out. So you may think that it's only showing like a small thing here, but no, it's actually properly glitched out. It doesn't create a full rectangle, which is how a wing should look. So yeah, that's going to create a little bit of extra downforce on one side more than the other. It has completely not created downforce. But then they've got another wing here. My god, this thing has a lot of downforce on it. Unfortunately, at high speeds with the amount of downforce we have in the front here, this thing is probably going to scrape quite badly. Oh, sorry about that. But this is also not all-wheel drive. So kudos to them. Very proud of you. Senpai likes. Also, they've got some like weird glitching here with the headlights. I mean, I like what they've done. They could have fixed it though with using patchwork or just properly using the in-game headlights. I still do like it though. I do like it. I also like the fact that they've gone with a yellow tint, even though there would be a little bit more yellow, realistically. And the reason why they do that is for Le Mans. And I believe that this is meant to be a Le Mans car. Yeah. I like that. Could have been a little bit more yellow, though. It looks a little bit like dirty brown. You know, one thing that so they got like all of the custom color stuff now in automation, and they've had that for quite a while now. One thing that I wish they would add to that, just a little bit of an extra thing, like they've added the invisible thing, is add in customizable glass shades. That would be cool. So like, if I wanted to make a cop light somewhere, but like I didn't have the right custom fixture for it, I could then just add in my own fixture and then put a custom color in front of the lenses as like custom glass colors. That would be cool. I know it's not really going to be high on the list of things to do, but I would like it. Have we reached the end of the playlist? Nope, that song's just got a long overplay. Then we have this big O trucko. So, as an Australian, not very appreciative of these sorts of things. I don't like the fact that they're becoming more popular in Australia because nobody else has them. So seeing around them is a real pain in the ass for the like 5 people that have them. Screw you. Go have sex with your cousin in another state. I don't want them here. They're a real pain in the butt. Also, our roads are more European styled, even though our current government is trying to make us more American all the time. Except more like Nazi Germany as well, with like cutting off free speech and all of that sort of stuff on the internet. So then the only speech that's out there is stuff that they like. Really super dodge. Anyway, they don't fit on the roads. They're impossible to see around when coming up to, say, like T-junctions and all that sort of stuff. And these things are very common at T-junctions because they are so slow and driven by slow people that park them at an intersection and go, nah, there's a car like 5Ks down there. I want to be safe and let it go first. So you have to go around it. But they're there and they're so big you can't see around them. But that doesn't change the fact that I think they look cool. I didn't used to think they look cool, but they are growing on me a lot recently. And I think this car does look pretty cool. Could have been a little bit more three-dimensional on, say, like a bumper sort of area. But yeah, I do like it. They've got a lot of detail in here. They have put a lot of attention to detail. This is probably all custom. Yeah, as you can see here, they've overlaid a whole bunch of things. They've done a lot of work here to make, like, not to just make a grill, but to make the grill that they wanted. A lot of effort here. Though it could have done with a little bit more, as I said, three-dimensionality. It's all a little bit flat, unfortunately. And then the badge here is really small. You'd feel with these sorts of things that, like, they're all about bigness and chunkiness, and they also want to associate their brand with bigness and chunkiness. So their badges on trucks are usually always, like, really big. So then their brand also feels big and chunky. 30 people watching, new record? No. The highest I've had on YouTube was like 56, I think. But my record would be over on Twitch, where for a couple of times I held about 180 viewers. But they were only like a few sporadically placed streams, kind of arbitrarily. And that's not including the ones where people were view botting me because they thought I should have more viewers. Anyways, yeah, so I do appreciate the looks of these sorts of trucks. The back end. Let's move over to this car. The taillights are a bit small. I would have liked to have seen them wrap around a little bit more. Once again, a little bit more three-dimensionality to it as well. This feels like a thing fitted onto a flat surface, unfortunately. So it hasn't really done a lot here. I mean, it looks nice, but it could have looked so much cooler, especially with the fact that you've made so much custom stuff. You've done such good work. Unfortunately, you haven't tried to, like, drop acid and then create a really ballistically, like, really evolved looking car that's just so awesome that you look at it and you go, wow. Kind of like, go a little bit faster. Over here, they've worked very three-dimensionally. They've got like a lip that comes out. They've got these little bits here that they've got like a big vent around here. They've got it wide-bodied. They've got this big duckbill on here. They've cut out huge sections in the back here to fit in the sort of body work that they want. Really well done. So, even though I do like this, I think you could have taken it so much further by the fact that you showed that you're willing to do the extra work. Sorry. Yeah. You've also got a little bit of... Oh, I'm getting like weird hiccups. Yeah, also, the exhaust don't seem quite right. I'm not sure what it is about the exhaust that doesn't seem right. Maybe it's meant to be a little bit lower and not so close to the bumper. Maybe that's what's throwing me there. Because if it's too close, then it burns. Do you want to know why Le Mans cars have yellow headlights? I did. But I'm drawing a blank and don't remember right now. Like, that's a thing that I looked into when I was doing the Le Mans video. There's many cars I'm proud of, but I'm really struggle to incorporate 3D modeling into them. So the designs there, but they all look flat as fuck. Yeah, so I'm not saying you can't have flat designs, because these have flat designs, and I appreciate them for what they are. There's somebody that's kind of starting to get a little bit more into the design of things. As you can see, this person's put a few vents in here. They've put some side body molding on there. They've started to experiment, but they're still holding themselves back with basic designs because they're maybe a little too afraid to try harder. This guy has completely crossed that border by making an entire custom 3D grill. They've put a lot of effort into this. what's disappointing is the fact that they didn't do cocaine before they did this and expanded their mind to think about how, like, a real body morphing sort of design would look a little bit more three-dimensional sort of thing. Sharp lines, curved lines, all sorts of things. I also do really like this little ventlet's up here. It's something that I've done with this car body, and I think it looks really good. I think they may have even done a little bit better than what I did with that ventilation there. French road regulations? Maybe? You hate chrome tip? I don't particularly mind it. Ah, okay, so see-through fog. Interesting. They look because of the fog, dust, yellow... Okay, cool, yeah. An hour and a half into the stream, and Phil's still just doing the overview. Yeah, I mean, I do like to do this. It's like the time in which I spend most of my time talking to people. And that is the reason I do any sort of YouTube, is just to have cool people to talk to, like you guys. That understand this sort of stuff that we're doing. We have this common ground, and it gives me something to talk about. I like talking to people. I just don't like talking to people where I'm like, how about them Knicks? Because I've never watched baseball in my life. Also, baseball's not really a thing here in Australia. Even though I have done live coverage for a baseball game, even still, I'm going to say that baseball isn't really a thing here. Fog or dust? Yeah, sure. What's annoying is they didn't do drugs. Yeah, basically. Welcome, I lols you. How's it going? What time is it for you now, guys? For me, it is 3:06 a.m. Very nasal? I can be sometimes. The reason why it looks weird is because it's too thin. The headlights don't go into the front fenders like most... Oh, yeah, you're right. That is another thing. The headlights don't really wrap around enough. But they do still have the indicator on the side. But even still, I think it looks fine. Like, it does wrap around a fair amount. It's just that it's got a wide fenders on it. If you have a look here, it does wrap around a little bit. But I think you're right. You could have done with a little bit more wrapping around. But still, I do like it. They've put in a lot of effort. I appreciate you. But the next step is to go completely wild and bonkers. Let me show you an example. I wanted to make the new Corvette in my own time. This is just me having fun. We'll put it over here. Control E. No, hold on. I have to have the UI up first. But nothing fit it, and it had lots of weird geometry. So, VQ. Why are the lights not turning off? Oh, because okay. Cool, so I had to try to make this as three-dimensional as possible. So I've got little body fixtures here. I brought that out because this was just a flat front end. I had to put in a little extra lip down there whilst also cutting it out. Got kind of the shapes along here. I even went ahead and made the lights three-dimensional with their glass, which is the thing that they do with the Corvettes. Then when it comes down to the side, I put the big vent on it. Now, I know that this looks ugly and hideous, but this is me just practicing on adding extra three-dimensional stuff. And it didn't have the body lines that we needed, so we had to add this weird thing in here. That is a body molding fixture made really big and then fit in three-dimensional. Oh, God. And then this was also fit in three-dimensionally on a very big vent. It's actually this vent here that is the main crux of the scoop here. And then the extra fitting on here to make it that little black extra line there. I tried fitting it in three-dimensionally and have it work, but it didn't really have the same sort of shape. Extra lines along here. Then in the back, we've got here a fake rear diffuser, but not the basically fit rear diffuser. You know, the one that looks like it's doubled and just kind of moved over a little bit. That didn't fit right to the rear fixtures, so I fit that customly. Got the exhaust fitted in three-dimensionally there, and then brought out the right amount. Taillights, I got lazy. Honestly, I hate doing taillights in this game. So jank. Yeah, so there's a lot of work here. I will admit, it's not a pretty car. But I wanted to have fun. I used the mud body. Anyway, Control E. Remove current. Alright, cool. Let's go back to this one. We're about to finish off on this one because we have to look at the drivetrain of it. My eyes! Yeah, I know. One truck. Don't see them often? Sure. Yeah, well, optimally it would hit those corners. Yeah, I agree. Those lights should wrap around a little bit more. Looks very nice, although the headlights don't entirely fit the shape of the hood. Yeah, I know. It was me just experimenting. I was doing one of my, like, fortnightly mind-bending sort of things where I try to push the boundaries. One of the other things I tried to do is I tried to do the rear taillights and that whole, like, duck bill kind of looking thing of an i8. That was hard, and I've given up for now, but I will go back to it one day, just me going through my things. I also think that I will do a video on making a new Corvette, but not with the new facelift, because the new facelift looks ugly. Anyway. The C8 is taking more cues from the Italian supercars, so yeah. The rear is kind of Aston Martin-ish. Yes, you spotted the grille. The Aston Martin, there is actually an Aston Martin grille in there to shape the rear diffuser to fit the shape of the car body. Your blue gives me McLaren 570 vibes from the side. I don't know if it's because my dad used to own one and it's engraved in my memory. Maybe. The lack of big beige military trucks here is making me sad. I wish someone would make a good supercar body type mod for automation. I mean, I do like a lot of the base game stuff. You don't really need to do much. You just got to work out and do weird and crazy things like I've done in some of my previous videos. They're kind of something or modern Gen R8. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so this car, please have big discs and big calipers. We have 2 pistons, but big brakes. Okay, fairly decent. We have McPherson strut in the front. Or McPherson strut in the front. Nice. Then we have a big twin-turbo V10. Very big engine. Okay. Also, I'm going to point out something. I don't like the fact that automation uses a 90-degree V10. Only one car company makes a wide-angle V10, and it's not done properly. In my opinion, they just tried to cheap out, and they ended up making a half-assed engine. They're meant to be very narrow, so more like a 60-degree, but more like 17.5 degree is more what your V10 should be. Anyway, yeah. So, big quad-cam V10. This thing is probably going to generate a lot of torque by looking at the turbos. That's what I'm going to assume. There's no interior, and we have independent front suspension into... Okay, this is 4-wheel drive into a solid axle rear with leaf springs. A mix of technologies there. I don't know if all the technologies fit together very well, but a mix of technologies that are going to make a unique vehicle. I also feel as if the tires could be a bit bigger, but I think that might just be a problem with automation and the flat tires. I am very excited for 3D meshed rear tires. For 3D mesh tires now coming into automation soon. That's going to be cool. Because one of the things that have always irked me is the chunky off-roads don't look chunky. But yeah, this looks pretty nice. I do like this. It's a basic flat design, unfortunately. But we do have like real wings on the front. And on the back we've got a real wing, but it's really small. And then a fake diffuser. They may have added a real diffuser in somewhere. We have vertical exhaust, twin. Please to God be a V-type or a flat-type engine and not just an inline with that. That would suck. Let's have a look at the back here. Because we're pretty much guaranteed double wishbone. Yep. A 1-piston. Nice. Okay. Carbon fiber chassis. Interesting? Question mark? Alright, let's have a look at the front. We have what looks to be a 1-piston. Yeah, 1-piston. So they know what they're doing. And double wishbone. Then the engine. Ooh, that's a heavy V8. Very heavy. Twin turbo. Meant for power. Okay. So, I get the feeling that this is meant to be like a light track car. Because these vehicles are very light. And I know it's right next to a truck, so it's a little bit hard to gauge its size. But this is actually quite a small vehicle they've got here. Leafs are still common? Really? Okay, I suppose. I mean, this thing doesn't carry a lot of weight. As you can see, it's got a very small tray there. So they probably could have gotten away with rear spring on that axle. Like, Leafs are not comfortable. I drive a vehicle with leaf springs. It's a 2003 Ford Falcon XR6 Ute. So I know that they're uncomfortable. Like the original Mini with a Chiron engine? What the fuck? Oh, drive original from... Where are these cars? Huh? I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, you're talking about other cars. To add to the... Yeah, but I'd like one where the greenhouse slopes all the way... on where... I'm so confused as to what's being written in the chat right now. I made a Miata with a giant V8. I think it has like 2,000 horsepower. Is that this car? Is this your car, Pancake? Cornort building an X20. This is basically two VR10s in flat piston. Sure. I do like the idea of Cornort's engine, and I am glad that it's getting used. I just wish that they would finish that car project off, for frick's sake. There's not been an update to that in a long time. I can accelerate so hard it damages itself. Okay then, nice. Ever been to a Aussie burnout comp? Oh dear god, those things are crazy. Person that I want to see it drive. No, I haven't, but okay, cool. Let's go on to the first car we're going to test out, which is this little one. We're going to do a little bit of bitumen, and then we're going to do a little bit of rally. So, what map do we take this to? We could do East Coast. We could do Italy. You know what? I think Italy is going to be more fitting for this car. So let's go do a little bit of Italy driving. We'll do a little bit of... city stuff, then we'll move over to the bitumen. An error code with YouTube for me. We'll make a burnout cop car now. Ticket to Beijing. One of the things you can do is you can remove the front brake, rear brakes from automation cars when you've got the J-beam. Wait, hold on. You can just remove the brakes in car modification section. Yeah, just do that. Hold on, I'll quickly show you what I mean. And then you can do burnouts a lot easier. Though this video that I'm bringing out, we made cars that were very easy at doing burnouts in a car that doesn't have a lot of power. So if you just go... Oh, hold on. Maybe we'll bring out the car first. Okay, here we go. Control W. No, that's front wheels. Rear suspension. Then you got brakes. You can just go here and you can remove the brakes. So what they usually do is a thing called a line lock. Or they just pinch off their lines, which is a bad idea. That will allow them to do burnouts better without having to cook your brakes. Ooh. Lots of delay off the line. Also, it seems that the exhaust is bugged out because it's coming out the side of the car in a weird way. Oh, wait, hold on. What the... This is not something I noticed before. The exhaust comes up... Where? Oh. The exhaust is the tail light. Interesting. Is it meant to be dual, though? Yeah, it is. Where'd the other one go? The other one ends right there. And unfortunately, BeamNG, Automation has exported it to come in at weird angles. That's distracting. My car for Twin Turbo's current build challenge does burnouts by just flooring brakes and throttle. Yep. Probably because I have drums in the rear, or it could just be the fact that the thing has a lot of torque and not particularly great tires. I left... The left tail light is broken? Yeah, no. That's actually the exhaust. I didn't pick up on that. Close red like a tail light. Okay, yeah, cool. Anyway, yeah, let's keep moving on. Ah! Brakes are not great on bitumen. Who could have guessed? So as I said, I don't think this thing would be particularly great on bitumen. I think it locks up the fronts way too easily. Let's do a bit of a test here. Yep. So the front brakes lock up way before the rear brakes. I don't know if that's good for rally or not. I'm gonna guess not. But you can balance that out by just doing a simple brake test. Not so much with the keyboard and mouse, more with a controller or thing. Okay, it has good turn-in. Turn-in is absolutely fantastic on this thing. But prolonged turning ends up with a little bit of understeer, unfortunately. And if you need to readjust your brakes, you are locking up because you're not going in a straight line. That means that the brake pressure is too much. Handbraking it to try to assist does not fix the issue. In fact, it makes it worse. A little bit of a love tap there. Anyway, it's a little bit of off-road. It seems too low. The suspension is not hard enough. Let's rewind just a smidge. Cool, let's give that another try. Maybe I should have taken this to East Coast, USA. Let's get the music going. Okay, music is not... Okay. Guess what? It oversteers a lot. Let's, have a look. Is there flat ground? What is happening with this song? Oh, that's the end of the list. Okay, next list. Alright, there's a little bit of a flat ground here. Slow that mouse down. Speed down. F7. Cool. Alright, let's try that again. Really have to clutch dump this car to get it going. Otherwise, you end up with that, where it just, like, takes forever. Okay, yeah. Too much oversteer. As I said, making it so you induce the oversteer will allow the thing to get like a full four-wheel drift and be quite fast. Unfortunately, this thing just oversteers on its own, which means that you can't get a four-wheel drift and you have to go quite slow. Otherwise, you just oversteer way too much and go around. So unfortunately, you have to go really slow around corners. So look how much I have to slow down. Even then, it was maybe just a little bit too fast. So I think what they thought is rally car oversteer, which unfortunately shows that they like rally and they want to do rally because they've put a lot of effort into this car, but they didn't spend the time testing it and having like a gay old time with it. Unfortunately, it's ended up with a car that is not good at rally. And yeah, when it oversteers too much as well, switchbacks become really problematic. This is so hard to keep in a straight line as well, unfortunately. Yeah, so unfortunately, god damn it, alright. This car, we're just going to jump straight to the score because this car doesn't handle well on bitumen or on dirt. It actually handles alright on bitumen, I will admit, but it could do with a proper brake balance. I think a proper brake balance and maybe weaker brakes so they don't lock up with like 40% brakes would be advantageous for a driving experience. I have to go for a few minutes, okay. I thought my cursed F1 car with the sidecar was bad at rallying. I don't know, I haven't tried it out yet. They made a very gay car. It's not what I'm getting at. Hard to keep it straight? Ah, now I get it. Dirty minds are now at work, yeah. If you don't know, which is mind-boggling if you didn't, gay means happy. But like, not just happy, but like joyous. So, using the term gay old time is quite old-timey and whatnot, but it fits perfectly for this car. Also, there's one other thing I noticed. I would actually have liked a vent to fit in here on this wheel well. That would have looked pretty cool. So the rest of the design, pretty good. I do like it. Now, they've used a lot of basic fixtures here. And I don't care because it's worked really well with this car. You see here that they've even used black outline because for some reason automation still has like these really bulbous things. I'm actually thinking of going through and taking some of the main automation lights and stuff and removing this big bulbous line here because that's an outdated thing that they don't need to do anymore with the way in which the game works so much better now. So I'm going to probably do something about that myself and upload that as a mod. The back end, once again, two-dimensional flat fixtures, except for this rear vent here, and they've made it work by complementing it with other things and fitting in lights and grills and the offset number plate. You can do flat kind of two-dimensional designs, but also have it look good, and that's what they've done. It's also really complemented by the fact that this thing has like a really cool roll cage in here. The roll cage doesn't come down here along the window line, which is a bit disappointing, but also, what can you expect? Also, they'd probably have some sort of mesh here, I think? No, I'm thinking NASCAR. Anyway, we've also got the dash problem. When you're sitting in a car, this steering wheel is going to sit kind of above where your pelvis is. What they've got there is the fact that you're going to have to sit with your hands forward like that to do it, because the steering wheel is about where your knees are. So, get into a comfy sitting position, reach your arms out, and then bend forward until your hands are over your knees. For those of you that don't drive, you probably won't quite understand the problem here, but yeah, no, that is unfortunately too far forward. It's a little thing. It's a problem with a good thing, because they've actually done an interior, and I appreciate that. I also explained how to fix that issue if anybody ever wants to bother doing that. I do like this car a lot, though. I think the race seats are a little bit too modern, though. I would have liked to have seen a more retro kind of race seat. So overall, the design. I do like that they've also experimented with this tail light. I think that is actually really cool. Really well done there. Like an 8 on the design. There's just a few minor details, but you've done a really good job. And I do like that you've done an interior. I don't, however, like this rear wing part that comes all the way down in there. I don't like that. It don't look good. For me, not so great. Also, why is the fuel tank all the way back here? Was the fuel tank all the way back on the R5? I wouldn't have thought it would be, because then you got more weight towards the rear and the engine is right next to a hot fuel tank. I thought it maybe would have gone here or like up here somewhere. I don't know. Huh. Welcome, POTUS Hagenstrom. Also, on the name of gay, we have here in Australia. This is a common ice cream, sold at every service station and every grocery store. The Golden Gay Time. We are not so touchy with that term here. I myself am bi, so I'm not really offended by somebody using the term gay. And I don't think it's really particularly funny. Except if you're trying to be like a juxtaposition sort of funny. Anyway. Somebody didn't use their dummy? What? Making it an Aussie burnout kind of, no, blah, blah, blah. Oh yes, beige Volvo 240. What? I handed to Tom's stream. What? I'm headed to Tom Hanks' stream. I don't know who that is. Golden Gay Time is called 88 Ann in Sweden. I've never heard that before. You heard it when you were in Aussie? Yeah, I like the Golden Gay Time. They're a nice ice cream. Not my favorite, though. They're just an ice cream. Got nuts on it. What's happening? Games for us. Okay, here we go. Porsche car. I don't know if this is the map for the Porsche car. I feel like I should take this to track. So we're going to go to West Coast, USA. and try it out there. Tom Hank before... Wait, hold on. You did write Tom Hanks, though. I didn't know that Tom Hanks... or Tom Hanks streamed. That seems odd for a boomer to do. But not a bad boomer. He could boom, I think. I don't know much about him personally. Let's go ahead, take this over to the track. I should have just spawned it at the track, but I'm derp. Hey, I'm derp. F7. Let's bring up the right car. Okay. So, I think they even call it a Porsche name. This is the 2019 Tucson 611... Oh, wait, hold on. I should probably also look at the previous car. The previous car was a 1971 Renault. Okay, so this is a Renault. I see what they've tried to do there. By Harion 12C, not Heroin 12C. The Renault being a 1.8-liter NA V6 powered 1971 hatch. Okay, cool. I liked it. Got delivered to me as a zip. Now, this car is the 2019 Tucson 611. Ah, also, by the same person. Heroin 12C, thank you for these two cars. This is a 911 992 GT3 RS concept. Okay. So their previous car, also very flat 3D fixtures, did a much better job. This one's just a little bit too basic for my taste. So the design, not particularly great. The running gear, it is all-wheel drive, so they've tried to compensate for the fact that this thing is a rear engine and problematic. We've got 2 pistons in the front and 2 pistons in the back. Let's hope that they balance that out properly, though. That was the wrong button to press. Okay, let's stage this and see, first of all, how this thing does down a quarter mile. I have never seen that fixture before fall out. Weird. Yeah, alright. Let's go ahead and accept that. No cinematic. We'll just go against whatever. Okay, well I can't turn off Control T now. Because we're already in a thing. Ah, shit! Well, I bunged that one up pretty bad. I thought that this thing would have a clutch, but that was my mistake. Alright, their time was a 10 sec. A 10-6. Ah! Be close. Alright. Still can't turn it off. Great. Alright, well, now we're stuck with that. So let's go give this thing a bit of a drive around. New Porsche 11 GT3 RS are all-wheel drive. Also, the lower trims are still all-wheel drive. Yeah, I know. There's been an all-wheel drive version now for, what, 20 years or something like that? So we're going to see how this thing drives. Unfortunately, the rear diffuser falls off, but that's not my problem. That's the car designer's problem. And that's going to hurt them in the score because they apparently didn't quite get tested enough. I'm sorry, Heroin 12C. Ooh. Those brakes feel good. The turn-in feels nice. The mid-corner handling feels nice. This is a pretty nice feeling vehicle. Turn-in is really nice. Oh, I accidentally turned in a little too much. Ah. Game doesn't know how to choose a gear, but that might also be the electronic stability control kicking in and trying to mess with me. This feels really quite solid. Really well done. Nice. I believe there is a brake imbalance, though. As you just saw then, the wheels were locking up, which should not happen with ABS. But that could also be that just the brakes are too powerful. Okay, so yeah, the brakes are moderate. It feels like there is a problem there. So I'm going to go in. That was the wrong button. Control W. Engine assists. We're going to turn them off entirely. Can I? Yes, good. I can turn that off now. Thank God. All-drive Carreras started on the 993-10, which was late 90s. Okay, yeah, so a little bit over 20 years. So, how's this thing without traction control and ABS? Brakes are too powerful, and they are locking up the fronts way too much. As I thought might be a thing, being a rear-engine car, the thing needs a lot more rear brake than front brake. Ooh, feels a little bit sketch, but it is also still controllable. And we're getting understeer at, like, higher speeds. Come on, there we go. All right. Yeah, the brakes are too powerful. I see what you've tried to do, which is try to replicate the actual car. Unfortunately, until the brake update comes in automation, which I'm very also looking forward to, because don't have to do that stupid, like, one big disc and one piston to make brakes work. This just hasn't worked out well. Like, unfortunately, it is a game, and games have problems. So, I am going to mark them down for their their bad brake design. Let's see how it does now heading into this section. So, brake early, not too early that you have to lock up. We are locking up way too easy on like 20% brakes or less than. Ah! Accidentally hit the wall and broke the steering. So yeah, this car feels fairly nice. The only thing that I'm gonna really hurt it on handling wise is the fact that the brakes are too powerful, and I believe they're unbalanced. And that's causing the ABS to lose its mind and not know what to do, so it has to like constantly interfere with it. But still, a nice car otherwise. I do like it when ABS feels as if it's making a car brake better than just locking up. And it only feels a little bit better than locking up. So when it comes to design, unfortunately, they've done a few things that look good, but overall the car just looks a little too basic, a little too flat, a little too much like a normal automation car. Heroin 12C has been around for a long time now. I kind of expect more from them. Especially right after that Renault 5 car that they had. That one I loved. I'm just going to have a quick look here. You know, it does have a working rear wing there. The bottom one falls out. The front aero... Oopsie daisies. Oh, that's the wrong button. Do we have a real wing hidden in here anywhere? We do not. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, no. There is... Okay, yeah, so one of the things that might be causing a little bit of issue here is braking is going to be incredibly unbalanced as the speed changes, because this thing doesn't actually have front aero. It has rear aero, but no front aero. It has these little winglets, but they are not going to create much at all. But at least they're mirrored properly, and they've got that down pat. Anyway, the design score is somewhere like a 5. Very middle of the road, very basic, unfortunately. Handling, like an 8? Because it does actually feel really nice mid-corner. Mid-corner, this thing is so good. It's just kind of like, you're going around the corner and you're like, I don't feel like I'm losing control. I feel like I could push this harder. And it gives a very satisfying kind of feeling to it. The problem is getting into the corner is the braking zone. The braking zone feels pretty bad, but the turn-in still feels quite nicely, as long as it's not locking up the brakes. And then the exit also still feels really good. So I give it a very high score, just hurt by those brakes being unbalanced and overpowered. So yeah, that gives it an 8. With good brakes, it doesn't have like bazonkas amount of power, so you can't like really power out of a corner. That is a part of handling, but also driving feel of the car. So that also doesn't like completely excite you. It's just a really good driver's car, because when you're driving it, you're enjoying the driving experience. But then the overall feel of the car, unfortunately, brakes feel shit. The design is too basic. It gets like a 6 out of 10 as an overall feel. So like generally this car gets somewhere around a 7 or a 6.5. It feels really nice. Unfortunately, just that design is its biggest letdown. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. A car that I can't even see. What is it? Ah, yes, this one. So it is the AAC concept. Now, I exported this one myself, so I don't know why it's transparent. What? Where did it go? Aquila GT00. Okay, here we go. Now I find it. My brain don't work, no good. So this is by Dormant Kamalaga Ding Dang. This is the year 2000, so cool kind of era. Very transformative sort of time. It's when that period of like not knowing how to make power from under fuel economy regulations started to end. So like the later 90s, they started to get more power into vehicles. Also mixed in with that transition period where car companies in the 90s got access finally to wind tunnels, and they were making very smooth, bulbousy, round cars. And you'll see that a lot with 90s cars. They're very round, very bulbousy. But then they started to realize that not everything needs to be 100% bulbous, like you've blown up a balloon or something, sort of thing. Like the biggest one was that 1995 Pontiac? Yeah. So this is one of my biggest examples of like that round bulbousy sort of look. In Australia we had the 1996 sort of era Commodore. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. 1998? Yeah. In Australia, we got this Holden Commodore. As you see, it's very round, very bulbousy. Like, the front end doesn't look quite so bad, but you get to the rear end, and it just looks blobbish. But it was competing with the with the Ford Falcon AU. If anybody doesn't know what that is. It was competing with this car. Hold on, that's not a very big picture. So yeah, the competition was really bad at the time, because this car, at the time, was considered to be really ugly. And it was going with a world design. What they wanted to do was try to make everyone like the same look of car, so then they could just make cars in one country, and then just ship them everywhere else, and not have to make multiple different cars. Something they've been trying to do for a very long time. Somebody's pinged me. I want to boot that person for pinging me. I don't like being pinged. Anyway, let's go back. And so, it's $2.4 million. This is a very expensive car. So this, in the late 90s, is probably a race car. Road cars, you wouldn't get that much money for a car. You wouldn't, like, even the McLaren F1 didn't sell for anywhere near that price. So, somewhat based off of the Peugeot Oxia and has a heavy focus on track performance. Yeah, so even they've made the mistake of thinking that this is the Peugeot Oxia body, which it's not. I'm hearing it drives like a Porsche. I've never driven a Porsche, so I don't know. You would have never have best, would you? What? I'm confused. This one's by Dormant Kabagelang. Yep. The early 2000s Dodges. Yeah, that sort of thing. Alright, 1.5 hours to catch up after What? If you think that's bulbous, you haven't seen the Ford... Yeah, the Ford Taurus also looks quite bulbous. I was just showing as an example. I wasn't actually thinking of exactly that Firebird, but the one that has, like, the big nostrils on it, like that one. Very bulbous. They tried to make it like a really wicked design, but it was still really bulbous and Kind of gross. Even in the 90s, I didn't like the designs of, like, bulbousy cars. Cough cough, 2004 Bentley Continental GT. Yeah, they were also a little bit roundish, but they were also had, like, they had big, flat surfaces on them still. Or a prototype car like the Peugeot Oxia. Don't know what you mean. Oh yeah, that one was a little bit roundish, yeah. The McLaren was auctioned off for $12 million if I... Recently, sure. But back in the day, they weren't worth that much. Yeah. The new McLarens, I've said this a few times, and I don't know how unpopular or whatever it is. I don't like new McLarens. They look like 90s supercars where they've tried to make it look more modern, but they're just round, bulbous, ugly. I think, all except the Senna, all McLarens of the modern era are ugly. I think they've done a bad job of making the cars look good. They just don't look good. Anyway. This is not the Peugeot Oxia body. I know what the Peugeot Oxia is, and if this is, like, from the original mod creator, meant to be the Peugeot Oxia body, they've done a bad job, because they've made it look like the Lister Storm. So I don't care what the mod creators say, this is not a Peugeot Oxia body. This is a modified Lister Storm body. Ah, so Robert Borisou, you made this car. Unfortunately, you think it's the Oxia body. It is not. This is a Lister Storm body. I was off for dinner. Ah, yes, okay, you were the person that went to do dinner. What body is if it's not the Oxia? It is a Lister Storm body. I thought it was the Oxia. Is it? Not gonna lie. It looks close to the Oxia, and I can see that it actually looks very similar to the Oxia, but it actually ends up looking like a Lister Storm body. Like, it just, the shape isn't the Oxia completely. Lots of indiscrepancies there. The 720S, ah yes, also a very ugly looking McLaren. So, I get it. Some people like the ugly McLaren look because it's like wild and crazy and supercar-ish, but they're just... car. They don't look great. The back ends, like the whole cutout back end sort of thing that they have, look nice. But it, like, if you move a couple of degrees off from the back end, then everything else right up until a couple of degrees before the rear end again just doesn't look good. It just, they look ugly. Let me hate on it more. 720S. Like, it looks like a fish front end to start with. It's weird, it's got like flatty sort of things there. Also, that like inline thing that comes down here on the front, how it comes backwards, that's actually bad for aerodynamics. And they shouldn't have done that. But they did. But they did kind of catch it in here, so that's not so bad. The side vent here looks okay. The headlights, I will admit, are some of the worst looking headlights I've ever seen on a car. The roofline is kind of okay, but it's this here that I hate the most on all McLarens. The side of the car. Not the side profile. The side profiles look okay. But the side of it looks so bad. It looks ugly in what I would consider every single way. That just does not look good. But then when you get around to the back, this kind of looks okay here. It's a little too roundish, a little too ugly. And then this part up here also looks too roundish and too ugly. You know when I said that I like the back end? I take that back. I don't like the back end. The back end also looks quite ugly. So basically what it comes down to is I think that the people that design, that are forced to design McLarens because they want to keep their job are being forced by people that don't understand what good cars look like. Because they just look ugly. Unfortunately, what they've done there is they've played automation and they didn't know what they were doing. Alright, so. They look better in person. Most cars look better in person. But to look better than ugly is still not great looking. But a car that's really big and wide looks good in real person. I have learnt that myself. No mercy for the McLarens. I think it's kind of their own fault. They retconned somebody's name that has no say whether they could actually have their name on the product, just so then they could market it a little bit better and sell more cars. I think that is incredibly unscrupulous of them. Okay. This car doesn't handle well. I think what's happened here is because they don't have front downforce, all they have is a lip, which is not actually downforce, and these little winglets here, which aren't going to add much downforce, but they will add downforce, didn't work very well. So what they had to do is they had to add really wide front tires. But on a mid-engine car, which I believe this one is, unfortunately, has left it getting a lot of oversteer at high speed. I do like the flat sixer. That is smart, because you keep the weight distribution lower for better hunker-down handling. Unfortunately, you fell into the trap of... Oh, wait, no. You do actually have a wing in here. So once you put the wing on, you should have made the front tires not so chungusly wide. Unfortunately, that has really hindered the handling. Also, it probably could have been a little bit narrower. But I think that's a problem with Automation's exporter-importer than anything you did. Oh my god, my Steam name is Pancake. Okay. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. I understand Phil's dislike for McLarens. Okay. Anyway, this car feels really spry. Like, it feels really fast. I get the feeling that this thing is probably really light. Oh, but then we get up to high speeds and the thing is becoming super skittish. Brake super late for the incredibly high speed we were going. The turn-in feels a little too sketch. I get the feeling that this thing would feel a lot better with a steering wheel. How's it do on brake and turn? Okay, brake and turn is not great, but it's also not horrible. Okay, I left, yeah, the braking on that one a little too late. That was my bad. Huh? Ah! But then, getting the power down, ah! Yeah, it's, I mean, I do like the back end on this thing, I will admit. The front end, sides, not so much. But the back end, I do like the cut-in sort of design you've made with the rear taillights by placing the wing where you did. I think that's a really good call. Unfortunately, your handling is set up for a steering wheel, and I don't test these cars with a steering wheel, so I probably could have done with a little less front tire. I like it. Okay, then we have high-speed understeer, and I think that's induced by the fact that you have such wide front tires that you had to have a smaller front wing. I think if you had narrow front tires and then a more front downforce, this car would be so much better again. So cool. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's just pretty good. But then again, at slow speeds, it kind of understeers as well. I don't know. It feels really nice. But also super sketchy when you get into high speed. I don't know, without like properly delving into this car, I'm not going to speculate too much on how you would improve it. But then when you get over 300, it starts to feel a little bit better again because you've got downforce holding it into the road. And then the cornering speed there is very fast. I do like this car. Also, the game is very quiet. Sorry about that. Let me just quickly fix that for you. Didn't realize I had done this. There we go. Now, let's turn it up to like 20, 30-ish. You can't blame them for needing to sell more cars. I can sell them for being unscrupulous. Sorry. I can blame them for being unscrupulous. They are virtually a startup company besides their F1 team. Yeah, I think I would have been less upset with them if they actually had created good-looking cars to go along with the McLaren name. What they've done is they've created arguably very ugly cars, and then forced that dead person's name on their car. It's a very cheap and nasty trick to do. And when you consider the fact that they first started producing cars in 2011, the fact that they're rivaling Ferrari and Lamborghini, yeah, so they create good cars. Their cars handle really nicely. Don't get me wrong. I hear many good things. I've never been in one. Their quality, though, is something to be questioned considerably. Their service costs also something to be questioned considerably. They're a car company that probably puts money first, driving experience second, design... Like, there's only 3 things in this list, but like 12. What they've done is they've got somebody that wants to be in charge of designing cars, but isn't actually good at designing cars. And then they use the, like, whole business model, get the Top Gear guys onto it, probably made a strict contract with them to not say anything bad about their cars. You like it when cars explode into a massive fixtures? Yeah, sure enough. Can't you do an American boat automation BeamNG? There's kind of one actually coming up this week. Kind of. I have also done an American boat video. I've actually done a few of them, but there's one that's like literally like a boat. As someone who owned a 570, I'm gonna like question that statement, but yeah, anyway. Stop flexing. I don't think they're flexing. I think they're probably lying, but that's fine. Like, it's the internet. Most people lie already anyway. Ah! Yeah, alright. I like this car. Could be a little bit better on the handling. Let's go ahead and give this thing a fill score. Well, Jesus. Let's get it turned around, though, so we can get a good angle on it. I think the handling is 60% really amazing, and 40% sometimes you're like, wait, what's happening? Like, or, oh my god, what's happening? So, like, kind of mixtures of, I don't know what's happening, and also, like, absolutely amazing. But the absolutely amazing also kind of outweighs it. So, the driving experience is somewhere like a 7. Pretty good. Something is wrong, though. As for the realism, I'm not too fond of the realism. It is a race car from that period. I would have expected it to be a little bit more Bozozoku kind of style with, like, vents everywhere. There would have been a vent along here. Because the price is not of a road car. And hypercars at the time didn't really exist as a category, and their prices weren't $2.4 million at that time. That's only been able to be done able to be done recently because of the popularization of supercars due to mostly the Top Gear gang. They made supercars so popular that people are spending millions of dollars on cars. And now that these companies are starting to realize that they can make a lot of money from these sort of supercars, they're even making SUVs like Lamborghinis, whatever that's called, and the new Ferrari, which I'm not a fan of Ferrari making an SUV. What's this thing here? Is that the chassis? Yeah, that's the chassis. Anyway, the design, I love the silhouette of the rear end. I think that looks so good with the lights kind of just poking out a little bit. Maybe the lights could have poked out a little bit more in like a triangular sort of shape. Kind of like, come out a little bit and then flat and then back in. Kind of like a chopped off pyramid sort of thing, but like sideways. I think it would look really nice. But it is, once again, still a little bit basic. I do like the fact that you've got kind of cool headlights there. You tried to go for a custom thing. I do like this sort of inlet here. That is very indicative of race cars. But that air goes in and comes out where? There's no expulsion point for the air. And even if it was to come out the side, once again, you've got no expulsion point for the air. So you've looked at the front of a car and you've understood a fair chunk of it. Unfortunately, you didn't really finish off trying to think about how the air flows. So the realism is quite low. I'm going to give it like a 5. The experience of the car is quite nice because the handling is quite nice. So overall, I'm going to give this car somewhere around a 6. It's good, but there are many improvements you could make. But they're all like minor improvements. But they're just minor improvements everywhere. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that thing with the taillights. I just think that that would actually complement your already good design there on the back. That I like a lot. Well done. Lamborghini urine? Yeah, that's right. The urine is overstyled? I mean, I don't mind the style of it. I just don't like SUVs. I don't think they should be popular. And the government should regulate them. Make people not be able to drive it unless they're actually working on a farm. Small fan goes, to be honest, modern Lamborghinis are usually overstyled. I mean, I kind of like their overstyled kind of nature a lot of the time. But I also like their stance kind of look, which is ruined with the urine. Sorry. You don't like SUVs, but you like the urine? Alright then. Sure. I mean, out of SUVs, it would be cool to have a Lamborghini. But if I had a choice of car, I would not choose an SUV. But that's just a personal thing, because I hate how they've ruined the driving experience for other people on the road. Anyway, let's bring out the really cool 037 looking car. So hold on, what was the name of it again? The AT Vortice. AT Vortice. Okay, so this is by Tom01203. Anyway, it is a 2020 car costing $139,000, which is in like custom car territory, where it's been made completely custom, but not like berserk price. It's even cheaper than most supercars. But yeah, so this is Rally Boy with inline 5 turbo have fun. Let's see if it handles well. You prefer Land Rovers to Urines? Yeah, sure. The Ferrari SUV apparently called the... is going to be hideous. Yeah, didn't they, like, sue a charity for the name? Like, dicks? And then, like, their basis for the lawsuit was also... like, something that they have historically tried to fight as well. They're not a scrupulous company, Ferrari. Ferrari is not a great company. Like, ethically wise. Alright, this car feels pretty nice on the thing. Got a bit of understeer there if you let it dive too much. Pretty nice, though. Still feels pretty good. Let's bring it down here to the brake killer. Brakes are not fantastic. I do like the fact that the power feels modest and comes on quite smoothly, so very appreciative of that. Oh, the reverse transmission whine. If you want to add transmission whine, I will be doing a video on how to do transmission whine in the future. I like this car. Pretty good. We are going to take it over to dirt in a bit. I just want to drive it a little bit more, because looking at the back end of this car is such a treat. It looks so good, even if it is glitching out and flickering at the bottom there, unfortunately, with the mud flaps. I still do like it a lot. Yeah, this has to go down as like top 10 favorite looking cars of all time from automation. Okay, yeah, nah. The understeer is pretty bad. Let's go ahead and... Oh! The drag race AI is still sitting there. I'll submit the 1700 horsepower Hell Climb Miata when I'm done overhauling it. Okay. Let the Lamborghini LM002 live again. Sure. Welcome, Luck Falls World. How's it going? I made it before the 3D update, so it needs a little work. Sure, okay then. Does look great. I mean, I do like the LM002. Wait, hold on. Am I thinking of the same car? Wait, is that the tractor? No, the SUV. Sorry, my bad. Not a huge fan. Somebody took it and modified it? How dare they? Anyway, yeah, no. I'm not a huge SUV fan. I was thinking of a different car, and I don't know why that was coming to mind. I was thinking of the Le Mans car. Okay, brakes, brakes! The brakes are really bad. Let's, go do a proper brake test. That was the wrong button. Automation, electronic stability control, turn that off. I believe we probably got some sort of imbalance in the brakes. So we got one piston in the front, one piston in the rear. They don't seem particularly big, but okay, let's go give it a try. And brake now. I can't tell what's happening. Is it an imbalance thing? Is that maybe what it is? I should get rid of that Porsche that's just sitting there on the line. Let's try those brakes again. Yeah, okay, the rears lock up a little too soon. I felt it actually locked over on this side on the rear. Aside from that, they are not powerful enough. So maybe you could have made the brake discs a little bit bigger. Brakes should be able to just ever so slightly lock up. But then again, this is not meant for road use. This is meant for off-road use. So we'll give it a bit of a try out here. And there go some fixtures. I was talking about the car you are currently driving. Does look... Oh, okay. Sorry, it's just you put the up arrows, which usually means that you're talking about a comment above. Yeah, I think this is top 10 my favorite cars of all time been submitted by viewers. Too much rear bias is what it seems? Yeah. But then again, it is a rally car, so we're going to now test it where it's meant to be tested. Well, we don't have traction on the rear enough. We're able to induce a bit of oversteer. Ha! Okay, pretty good. Very smooth on the power. Nice, but problematic. Okay. So, unfortunately, it has a little too much oversteer, but that might also be the whole banked corner situation we got going on here. Maybe I'll take this over to the west map. East Coast map. Okay, yeah, no. This is not handling particularly well. I pressed the wrong button. Let's go ahead, bring up East Coast USA. And we'll do some dirt driving. I don't think that they did a good job of replicating the 037. I think they did an amazing job of making a retro recreation of the 037. And I love it. This car looks fantastic. Too much rear bias, cool. Okay, I always use that as raised eyebrows. Yeah, no, that means you're pointing to the thing above. In the future, I'll use that instead. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, no, that's the wrong car. Watch me derp. Watch me nay-nay. Alright. Something just broke. Weird. Oh, okay. No, we got ESC on. Let's turn the ESC off. And we should be able to drive around here quite nicely. Unfortunately, this thing has a little too much natural oversteer. And could do with a little bit more, like, induced oversteer by the driver. Let's turn around. And refresh. And let's go for a little bit more of a drive around. Yeah, no, unfortunately. You know what it could do? Actually, you know what? I think the problem is one, your tires are too wide for a rally car. That is one problem. The other one is, your, my brain isn't working. Anyway, let's go. I think the vehicle is a little too low for a rally car. Yeah. See, too much oversteer. I shouldn't be able to oversteer quite so easily, because then any other sort of time you can't put the power down. If it's induced understeer by the driver, then they can control... Oh, god damn. I can't keep this thing in a straight line unless I drive it really slowly. You know what? I'm going to do something that I don't usually do for people, but I'm going to modify this car myself. So let's go in... front wheels... Front suspension... No, that's not the right thing. There we go. Tire. We're going to increase the front tire pressure and reduce the rear tire pressure. And then rear toe... like 50% in. We'll give that a try. Alright, let's now give it a bit of a try with a bit of an adjustment. We should now have a little bit more understeer. But then again, we still got power oversteer, but that's actually quite good. That would be what I call induced oversteer by the driver. We're still oversteering maybe a little too much. Yeah, maybe still a little too much. I think that has to do with the fact that I find with BeamNG, really wide tires, even if you got lots of power, are not really the answer you're looking for. These are not the answers you are looking for. Oh god! Because then the car becomes, like, when you hit the ground after a bit of a bounce, it digs in way too much and then will spear you off in the wrong direction. All you want tires to do is add directional force forwards, generally. That's kind of the understanding I've come to with BeamNG and rallying with automation cars. So, yeah, you've created a nice car. Unfortunately, the driving experience isn't there. Not on bitumen or on dirt, unfortunately. But the design is like a 10. Well, maybe not a 10. There are like a few things you could improve. Like the lips around here, there are workarounds for the lips on grills and stuff, so... maybe you won't see that on the stream being so small, but yeah, like, these lips and things, there are workarounds for that. You probably could have worked around that. So, maybe not a 10, but like a 9. Because it is so good. I love the design of this car. The driving experience is quite low. The realism feels quite nice because it feels like a prototype car where they haven't really fleshed it out entirely, but what they've done is they put like a really fun engine in there. They made sure that the car drives. And this is a prototype that you take around to show car reviewers, take to car shows, all that sort of stuff. I love it. The experience of this car is normally reserved mostly for driving, but it's also the look of this car, the experience of how gorgeous this car is. Gives this thing a really high score. And the realism score, all that sort of stuff, I think added together, I think it's like an 8. Because like there's a huge hit on the fact that just making it handle good isn't that time consuming. You have to learn it, but that doesn't take very long because you just do it by trial and error. You can have automation and BeamNG open at the same time and find something out about the car, then go back to automation and re-export it whilst leaving BeamNG open and then drive it immediately again, which is something that real car developers can't exactly do. So there's no excuse. But I do love this car. It gets like an 8.5. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, they usually do have thin tires. Though this is a rear-engine two-wheel drive rally car, so I'm not entirely sure how wide their tires are, but I still don't think that they're particularly wide. I think also Group B, back in the day, which this is based off of, had also narrower tires again, because once again, they were still using cross-plies, I believe, for racing, because it was more predictable in its oversteer characteristics. I forget the exact thickness of... but like 215s or 225s, yeah. I don't know. They are quite thick, though. Thick boys! I also would have liked to have seen a V-type engine with the twin exhausts. I know you like the inline 5. Inline 5s be cool and all, but twin exhaust? Come on. Cheating. Too big? Yeah, I feel that the tires are too big for rally. For road use, yes, they are fine. Pretty decent. Maybe a little bit unbalanced, but still pretty good. But for rallying, not so much. Do you have another video regarding the fixture lips workaround? Not yet. It's only something that I've kind of worked around yet, but it's not actually that hard. What you do is you, generally on most fixtures, have the ability to turn that lip invisible, which will leave like a really ugly, jagged cutout. What you do then is just get the patchwork mod, and then just kind of fill in the areas around it. In automation, it won't look particularly good because the fact that they're not like on exactly the same plane of existence, so they'll look a little bit jank. But when you bring it over to BeamNG, if you have a non-metallic color, most of the time it'll look pretty good. So yeah, it's not particularly hard. It's just you have to have thought about it. And I only thought about it because I hate the lips on these fixtures so much. But that's a personal gripe. I'm not going to hold that too much against you. It's just, I'm thinking, like, if I was to do this, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it look so gorgeous, because you've got a very contiguous design. A lot of continuity everywhere. It's just a really well done car. I love it. I just love this car. 37 ran 255s on gravel and 265. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, it's also a sports compound tire. So that could also be a problem. So, sports compounds actually have less traction. There is actually a thing in the J-beam which dictates how much traction changes when it goes onto dirt. And it is significantly worse for sports and for semi-slicks. Anyway, let's move on to the next car. What is the next one in the list? And that's my car, and then we got the Cane-Kin Sport. Let's have a look at the Cane-Kin Sport. Here we go. This is by Narollo. Thank you, Narollo, for the car. Much appreciated. 1972, $47,900. So the chances of this thing having cross-plays, very, very high. Now, I know that some European cars and all that sort of stuff have radials, but the likelihood of it having crossplay is still pretty darn high. I do like this car. It's a bit basic in some regards, but still pretty nice. And was this the one with the interior? Yeah. Unfortunately that. So, let's see how it handles instead. This does seem like a country cruiser sort of car, going around nice corners in the hills, all that sort of stuff, because it looks really pretty. And it looks really pretty in the hills. So let's give it a bit of a drive around. We do have the ESC light is there, but there's no ABS. What? Where's the ESC button there? That was the wrong button. Anyway, automation engine. I mean, it's got it. Oh, do they only have traction control maybe? Okay, let's try out traction control. No? ESC is doing nothing. Weird. I don't get it. I found a good setup for rally tires is sports compound with off-road grip bumped up from... What? Are you talking about modifying the J-beams? I tend to not do that. Partly because that's cheating. What tires were used in the late 80s, early 90s era? That would have been mostly radials at that point. I love how narrow the front tires are. Actually, you know what? These tires are very narrow. They're just very low profile, which is a bit weird. I like this. It feels actually like it's got cross-plies on. Yeah. No, that's I don't know, it's hard to tell. It kind of like easily goes into oversteer, but then the snapback is more indicative of crossply. Sorry, radials. So I can't tell what sort of tires it has on here. I probably should have checked it out when I was exporting the car. Brakes are fairly good, even if ABS is seemingly broken. 1972 probably wouldn't have had ABS anyway. ABS wasn't really started to implement on most modern cars until the late 80s sort of era. I know it's when I first had it on one of my Volvos. This was a late 80s car. This thing... Ah! What was 70s safety? I would have just died. Oh, this thing is slow if you don't dump it. I suppose you'd have to ride the clutch. And BeamNG doesn't have a very good clutch riding mechanic. Or maybe if it does, they haven't implemented in the automation exporter. Ah! No, I think this is radial tires. I think this should have either had wider radial tires or cross-ply tires to help with a more predictable oversteer with this kind of body. See, the problem with radials, and the reason why they took so long to switch over to radials, which was in the 80s, to from cross-plies to radials, sorry, was because the unpredictable nature when you were getting close to the limit of traction on radials was pretty bad. So yeah, I don't know. This car might have ABS if you put the traction aids in automation, but just ABS. I know, but ABS is not doing anything. The light's not flickering and it's locking up. I know this issue. What's the equivalent of clutch system mechanical diff in automation? What? What's the equivalent of the clutch system mechanical diff in automation, by the way? A locker? Automatic locker? Is that what you mean? Yeah, no, this thing needs to be just a little bit dumped to pull off the line. Yeah, first gear is quite long for a 70s car, especially a carbureted 4-cylinder one. So nowadays, first gears can be really long, but that's because they're trying to get around emissions things, which means that they then have to tune the engine to have more low-down power, and you just ride the clutch a little bit more. That's fine and all. But back in the day, first gears were incredibly short, which made them feel super-duper lively. I like this car. Its overall feels like a 1970s car. Could do with maybe a little bit more body roll. It feels a little too flat handling. But yeah, with the design issues I've mentioned, being that little bit of a dash poking through, the fact that you can't have anything from the knees down, the design being a little bit two-dimensional, but the realism factor is quite high apart from the tires, because even if you could put low-profile tires like this on this car, cars back in those days wouldn't have had cross-ply, wouldn't have had low-profile tires. I mean, I like it. Its realism is very high. Its driving experience feels very pleasantly 70s. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I give it, though, because it's got a few faults, like a 7? 7.5? Pretty good. I do enjoy it. I just don't think it's exceptional. And, I don't know. I would like to see more from this person, because they've captured that, like, sleek kind of design that they were going for. Mostly simplistic. I just think that they could have done a little bit more to work with it. Kind of like what was said at the beginning of the video. Anyway, stream. I like this car. Automation doesn't even have an option for ABS until 1985. Why is... Okay, maybe it's a glitch then, either in Automation Exporter or BeamNG, I don't know. The interior with 5% legroom, 25% engine, and 70% everything else, yeah. I mean, I like it. It's flawed. Also, a lot of cars back in the day probably were flawed, so I do kind of chalk it a little bit up to the quirkiness. I like it. I like it a lot. I like the body shape. I like the fact that they got the wheels tucked under. Maybe they could have had them tucked under a little bit less. But still, they were always uncomfortably tucked way under the car. I do like that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it is kind of like your alpha kind of body. Mixed with something else? Really? I don't know. It does look very alpha. Anyway, moving on to the next car. I did like that one, but yeah, time for us to move on. What's happening? Oh, okay. Weird. This one. So, these two cars are mine, by the way. So I'm going to skip them. I'll make sure them at the end if people are interested. Alright. Weird Bazonko car. Let's take this one, actually, to a racetrack. And we're going to take this to the automation test track. Time for the car Phil will not like. This one? You think I won't like it? I mean, it does look questionable. A little bit bonkers. And the sidecar is probably... Now, the question is has the mesh exporter done the sidecar properly, or has it ignored it? It's ignored it. So, it is actually not going to be particularly unbalanced to one side. It will have a little bit of stuff over there, but not much at all. So this is going to be not too bad. Now, what's the name of this car? The Cursed F1 Rally. This is a rally car. Okay. Here we go. By Broken Ursa. So I have no details on the car, so I don't know much about it. This thing is... an absolute death trap. Now, I believe this is naturally aspirated inline 5, was it? Or is this one a 6? I think this one is actually a 6, yeah. Yeah, there's a 6 cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, cool. There's just a few things that get in the way. Alright, let's try this thing out on bitumen to start with. Feels like a smooth power delivery. We don't have ABS, but the ESC button is still there, so I think maybe that's some sort of glitch. Thing's got lots of body roll. More body roll than the last car from the 70s, because I think they turned the roll bar stiffness way, way up. You know what? This kind of handles quite nicely. It doesn't have a berserker amount of power. The suspension doesn't feel particularly confidence-inspiring with its quality. It feels like the suspension wants to break. This thing is really bouncy. Alright, let's go make our way over. I feel like this thing would be better if it didn't rev so high, because the way in which BeamNG does, like, the very violent gear shifts and everything. Am I going the right way? I think I am. Yes. Maybe? Lock up Siles turn. You know what? No, we're gonna barrel across here anyway. It's a rally car. It should be able to take a bit of a pummeling. Also, now I know why the thing has a sidecar, because it's a rally car. You need a navigator. Well, how do I get across then? Okay. If you couldn't tell by my name, this is actually supposed to be a rally car. Yeah, I figured it out. Why would you have a sidecar on a four-wheel vehicle? Because you don't have room in the cabin for it. This is a mod body I made, by the way. And welcome, Moto45, to the stream. High revving inline 6 sounds sick. Yeah, it does sound pretty sick. Maybe if you saw a doctor or something. Anyway, let's find our way. I don't know where this... Is it right? It is right here. Okay, good. You don't need a dude in here to balance it. It has 4 wheels. That's wacky. High revving, cool. Oh my heart. Okay, cool. So you need a navigator as a rally car driver. So that's probably like an outdated thing. You could probably have like some sort of wireless camera set up now with how fast things are getting. So you could probably do without the rally drive, the co-driver. Ah! This thing, I think, drives a little too much through its front wheels, and causes a bit of a switchback effect. Ah! And then we oversteer as well. Maybe I'm just not good at driving. Maybe that's what it is. I like it. Ah, yeah, doing good. Doing good. Yes, there we go. Perfecto Mundo exit on the exit. Damn it. And then we carry too much speed in. Ugh. turned around. All right. You know, it's okay. It's way too bouncy. I feel as if the suspension is not set up for this at all. It also feels way too low. I think that's adding to the unfortunate bounciness of the car. We've lost our rear wing altogether, but we're a rally car. You don't go that fast anyway. I think this handles better without the rally wing on. The overhang on the front is a little too big as well. I think that's causing issues with the bounciness. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think this handles better without the rear wing on. Nice. Weird, I don't know why. But as you can see, we're handling much better now. Maybe I'm just getting used to the car. Maybe I should respawn it. Nah. Got up that embankment a little bit. Ah, shit. Well, anyway. Let's rewind this a little bit, get it back on the road, and give this thing a score. Cool and wacky, weird. I don't know about it. I'm not sure about this. Why need a sidecar for a navigator when you can sit on that giant wing? Should have long boy body and put a co-driver behind. Ah, yeah. Oh, interesting. Let's see what you... Anyway. I built this before I learned how to build rally cars properly. I would have stiffened the dampness if I knew. Yeah, cool. All right, so... I like this car. A little bit. I know. It's also really super jank. The driving experience is not particularly great. Its design is questionable, but also very cool, kind of Hot Wheelsy sort of design. So maybe like a 7. Driving experience is like a 6. My overall feel of it is very mixed because you've bastardized my precious car mod body. I don't know. Like a 7? 6? I'll give it a 6. It's nice, but it does feel as if there's a lot of unrefinedness going on here. If that's a word, which it is not. Let's have a look at the next car. What have we got? Ah, yes, super duper hyper supercar. Let's take this home and bring out the next car. So this is the fake Rari 1K, the Cosmoth Custom by Tom. Oh, this is their second car. They've got 2 cars in this one. Anyway, this is a 2020 $7.32 million. This is based upon a car which I made previously and wasn't able to drive because the front wheels were super jank. It was so hard to drive. Anyway, fake Rari 1K custom originally by Philman86. Looks good, but not sure it drives well in Beam. So, yeah. One ugly thing? I mean, yeah, it was questionable. This, on the other hand, I think looks better than when I made it. It looks so wicked and so cool. What I hope, though, is they reduce some of the stupid amount of power it had. It did have way too much power for the body, unfortunately. Does it have... Ah, we have a clutch. Good. And we're going to find out also if the wing will stay attached. This one is exported by me, so I don't know if the wing will stay attached. Ooh. Nope, okay. It will stay attached. Unfortunately, it scrapes. Right off the bat, big negative points. I don't know what's scraping. Let's bring up the debugger and make the body mostly invisible. Oh, weird. What? This is a weird song, by the way. Why was it scraping? I mean, it might scrape on the front. What is... What? The tires are not scraping on the body. Alright. Weird. That is weird. So I've seen this glitch once before, and I don't know what the glitch is. I think what it might be is automation has exported a beam that has ended up going through one of the wheels. And I think that's what's causing the issue. I don't know how it affects handling, though. Baby La Ferrari body? Yes, it is. Yes, drum and bass. That song matches your car very well. Okay, then. The diffuser probably... No, nothing is actually scraping. Nothing that we can see. It's probably just a beam going in the wrong place. Very, very weird. Because it's also not scraping on the ground as well. It's scraping a bit above... I'm full throttle right now. There you go. That was weird. Cool. All right. Super jank. Ah. Nope. Okay then. Shite. Let's try that again. So we have too much power, too much oversteer. This does kind of remind me of the okay, no, this thing has too much oversteer. Like too much oversteer. Unfortunately, they've made this car look considerably better, but it also handles considerably worse. Like, I'm not even trying and this thing is oversteering. Like, what was that? Like 12% power and the thing was oversteering? I like that they've improved upon my design. I really do. Unfortunately, they've made the car handle even worse. I remember this car handled pretty bad, but they've made it considerably worse. That's disappointing. Back up! Thank you, game. All right. I think we're just going to go to full score considering that this car is nigh on undrivable. So right there, park it, reset it. And let's just have a look at how gorgeous this car is. I like that a lot. Really nice. Like, I know it's overboard and over-designed, I get it. But in its over-designed and overboardness, it looks really nice. And they've done a really good job of design. Design is pretty darn good. Unfortunately, there's a few little things that I don't like the sides there. I'm not sold on the color. That's not a really big thing that's doing it for me. Usually these sort of cutout sort of designs will cut out around the wheel arch a little bit. That's for cutting turbulence. If they had have done a much better joining of the side here, they probably wouldn't need these legs here. They could have just used the shark fin and the sides to attach. It feels as if these need support anchors as well. We've got lots of air intake. We've got lots of out expulsion there. They've got my out expulsion there, so that's pretty good. Oh, that's glitched out. That's meant to be a hole there. I mean, I do like it. Design's pretty up there, like a 9. It's wacko, it's hypercar. Welcome the Midget Man. Welcome to the stream today. Only part I don't like is the rear. I mean, I like the rear. I like how over-designed it is. I like how crazy it is. I like that they put this in here all custom because that's not a part of the mod standard like. I don't know how they did it, but it is an extra fixture on top. Really cool. I like it. But the driving experience is completely ruined. And it does ruin the fact that this car looks gorgeous. So, a 6 out of 10? Because unfortunately, it is not a driver's car. This car is nigh on undrivable. So yeah, I love it. Unfortunately, no dice. Wait, why is it blue here? What? Okay, so maybe the color wasn't their fault. Let's, for that car, take it to Spa. Free roam. Spa Franken-Chops. There we go. Okay. Bodywork scraping? No, it was not. If you looked at the collision mesh stuff that I showed, there was nothing actually even close to the ground. What it was is like some sort of internal glitch, which happens with smaller cars sometimes. Not an invisible wing either. Okay, I've got to drop out, ready for work. At least I got to see my car. Cool. Franken chops. That's what I call it. F7. Brain had to work overtime then just to figure out what it was that I was... So this is the Gatima 53.5. Here we go. This is made by Carl. This car killed people, Carl. It's $10.2 million. I'm pretty sure that's meant to be a comma, but that's the way they wrote it. It's a 3.5 liter i5 engine with 993 horsepower, 7,900 RPM, and it revs up to 12,000 RPM. I do not know what the year is for this car. If this is meant to be Group C, it probably fails because you have to reach a certain fuel efficiency with those cars. And I very much doubt this thing would reach that. I get the feeling this thing would probably use a little too much fuel. But yeah, let's give it a try. There we go. Okay, it took a really long time. Let's clutch dump it. Ah, okay. Super sketch driving. Ah! Ah! Is this thing all-wheel drive? No, this is only rear-wheel drive, so I appreciate it. This car feels very planted, but unfortunately I think it feels a little too planted. Okay, good, good, good. We're getting there. Oh, a little bit of scraping of wings. Oh, okay. I braked a little bit heading into, what's that, Eau Rouge? I believe is what it's called. But I don't think I needed to. This car actually handles pretty well. Unfortunately, it's got the scrapies. So, oh, the brakes are also pretty good as well. Ah! I feel as if the power is a little too peaky as well. Okay, well, that got into a bit of a tank slapper and I just was not bringing it back from that. Yeah, let's try that again. Damn it! I can't floor it because I'm using a controller. And I only have a binary clutch. So it becomes problematic. You just have to take off really super duper slowly with the controller. Well, we got understeer and like mid-speed corners around 100 kilometers an hour, which is where it takes over from mechanical grip to aerodynamic grip. So maybe we have aero unbalance? Oh, I mean, it's okay. I feel as if this thing could do being a little bit more aero on the front, maybe. Or maybe a slightly wider tire? I can't tell. This car is so weird. Like, it feels really good, but then it just understeers sometimes. Like you're being punished somehow. I think if this had been in the Group C race, it would have done fairly well. It wouldn't have been the best, but it would have done quite well. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Nah, come on, don't be like that. Okay, let's go home. Let's try doing a flying lap with this vehicle. So we're going to take it back to the finish line, and we're going to try to do a flying lap. Oopsie daisies. Right there. Okay, cool. Let's bring up the hot lapping app. What is this music? This is under the subgenre of, I think, inspirational? This is not inspirational, this is just weird. Okay, let's go start hot lapping. We'll back out of it and we'll get a bit of a flying lap going. Doesn't need to be fully flying lap, whatever. It's all good. Okay. Why didn't the timer restart? Alright, we'll just take 10 seconds off this time then. And we're gonna see if we can't get a full flat Eau Rouge done. I mean, I kind of stuffed that up a little bit, so that was my fault. Not gonna punish them for that. No traction control, but has ABS? Yes. That's very common for these sorts of race cars. Traction control did kind of exist. Volvo was leading the way with that on race cars. but decided not to use it. I'm not sure why. We ended up getting traction control a little bit later through Volvo. But the way in which Volvo did traction control back in the day is they judged the difference in speed between the front and rear wheels, and then if it was getting too much speed into the rear wheels, what it would actually do is reduce the, like, mechanically open up the wastegate and reduce the pressure. And they found that it actually made the cars considerably faster. So I don't know why they didn't use it. It was really weird. I think maybe the drivers didn't like it. Who knows? This car feels really nice. I think we're aiming for about a 210 for like a really fast lap for this sort of category. Yeah, all right. Doing all right. Gotta mind your understeer. So the thing I think has low speed understeer, high speed, good steer. So sometimes it handles well, sometimes it doesn't. All right. Is this Blanchimont coming up? The big, tall, high-speed corner? Ah! If I had it turned in sooner, we probably would have made that quite nice, but that's fine, whatever. Nobody cares. Oh, really? A flat tire? That's fine. We only got 2 corners left anyway. Going through bus stop. We'll take a couple of seconds off for that as well. So we'll take off about 15 seconds. That was about a 2:15. So this vehicle would have done quite well in that Group C video that I did, but not win, unfortunately. But still, pretty good vehicle. This is pretty good. All right, let's stop that timer. The app is broken, like it has been for quite a long time now. Control-E, what is the next vehicle on our list? Ah, yes, the, let's take that to the sort of place where you would drive a 4-wheel drive truck. West Coast, USA. My Miata also got the scrapies, but my suspension stiffness is maxed out. Do something about it. So I can't do anything about it. I feel very inspired by the music. No traction control but has ABS. Yes, that is correct. Welcome, Charles Cesar de Almeida Cadam. Welcome. Honda NSX has traction control in the early 90s. Yep. Hot lapping is broken. It seems a little bit more broken now than what it was like a couple of weeks ago. Yes, I will agree. Okay. There's got to be, like, there's potholes here in front of me, so that means that I need a, an SUV, like this. Ooh. This thing feels like it's got quite a lot of power. Let's turn ABS off, because when you got a heavy vehicle, you don't need ABS. Oh, sorry, traction control, that is. Ooh, wallowy and understeer, nice. I feel as if, though, this thing could do a slightly stiffer dampeners, because the wallow side to side goes on for a little too long. As you see there, like, it just wobbles a little too much. Ah! Brakes are horrifically bad. Oh my god. You can pronounce Shao like... Oh, Kyle. Okay, then. Weird. I thought that was meant to be Chow. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, no! Ah! Damn it. This car handles like shit. So I suppose it's an American truck. This is, yeah, problematic at best. So I think we're going to try taking this one over to some dirt. Because this thing sucks on driving. I can't slow it down, like, even from a moderate speed. Okay, we're somehow caught on that tree. Let's try driving it normally. This thing has too much RPM. I feel as if it's got, like, a sports engine in it, not some sort of diesel or something. Yeah, brakes suck. Feel as if the brakes should have been considerably stronger. I know we're going downhill, but even still. And then the understeer is real. You know where I want to take this? I want to take this to Hirochi Raceway where the dirt is. Where's Hirochi? Oh, there's Hirochi. Ah, yes, rock crawling course. All right, give me a second. I'll be back in a minute. I feel better now. All right. What am I supposed to do about it? Turn trucks rev up to 3-4K RPM? I mean, yeah, this thing revs up to like 7,000 RPM. It doesn't feel truckish. Though, then again, there are a few trucks that have had high revving engines. I think like the Thunder or whatever it was, the like turboed one from the 90s or 80s or whatever. Then there was also the the SRT-10 one as well. That one's pretty good. All right, now we feel a little bit more at home. This thing feels much better. Putting that torque to use, the softer suspension, a little bit wallowy, gliding over the bumps. I almost was thinking like this is not quite the exact right track for this, but I think it was. This is pretty darn good. Yeah, this feels really good off-road. Oh wow, we're not... Okay, I was about to say we're not bottoming out, but apparently we are. Okay, so there's a little bit of collision, but... Is that... Oh my god. That rear axle hang. That was insane. This is good. As an off-road vehicle, this suddenly makes a lot more sense. Let's turn ESC off. Oh, immediately, lots of wheel spin. I feel like this thing could have done with a lot less power and maybe kept the torque. This is pretty nice. Also, I think it's all-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive, considering that there's no front drive shaft disconnection. So, yeah. This is not a soft rotor. This thing is full hard off-road. Even if it is all-wheel drive and not four-wheel drive. Ah! Could have done with like a bash plate on the front. Of which I have bashed the front sill of the car. I like it. I like it a lot. I think as an off-road vehicle, this thing is really nice. As a road vehicle, it is very unpleasant. So let's give this thing its fill score, because there's only so much you can do with dirt off-roady kind of rock crawly sort of areas. Its realism, I don't know. I feel as if the engine doesn't really match the rest of it. The fact that it's all-wheel drive and not like a selectable four-wheel drive... I mean, I do like it a lot. So, it's just unfortunate that on the roads it sucks. I give it like, because I don't really know what these vehicles are like to drive on road, so I don't know the realism of it. But the fact that I do like the design, even if it's like only about 80% of the way there, I'd give this car like an 8. I like it a lot because when I'm driving off-road on these sorts of areas, I've not got a lot of experience with it, so whenever I've tried to do it, it's always been pretty blasé. But this feels good off-road. Really good. I like it. Well done. I love it. There's the few blaring problems, like the on-road handling is atrocious. Dodge Ram SRT-10? Yeah, okay. How to build an American truck. Does it lean 45 degrees when turning? If yes, congratulations, you've built an American truck. How on earth do you reduce horsepower and keep torque Vice versa, I never managed to do either. Predominantly your camshaft tuning. So if you reduce your RPM, or where your RPM is in the power band, generally you're going to have higher torque. So have a lower cam profile is the easiest way to do it. The other one is like through turbo tuning, tuning your spark ignition, timing, all that sort of stuff. You can bring it down considerably. When I'm doing like proper workhorse type vehicles with this game, my camshaft tuning is somewhere around 10 to maybe 30. If I'm going like full hardcore, like completely ballistic sort of thing where I want torque and I do not want power. So say like a fuel economy car, I'll have a 0 camshaft tune number. But yeah, that's generally how you do it. High boost, small turbo with conventional cam profile works for my car. You can bring it down. Maybe you get 280 horsepower at 4,500 RPM torque for my rally car. Okay. Oh, 450 Newton meters, sorry. Torque for my rally car. Just finished my Aussie burnout car with interior? Okay then. You meant to enter the interior? But yeah, so next vehicle. I do like it. Unfortunately, it's flawed, and my use case for it is like basically this. Otherwise, it's just going to be like rally stuff, and there's not really it's not really a rally car. So it's really fun on like mildly rocky areas. Maybe something like Utah could be pretty fun with it, but like it doesn't do well on rocks. It just does well on like moderate rocks. All right, last car of the day. Now, I am expecting a lot from this car. What is the name of it? The Samurai Luigi. There we go. Samurai Luigi. And this is made by Creator. Interesting name. Okay, sure. Why not? It's a 2020 car, and it is $443,000. So this thing had better compete with Ferraris and Lamborghinis. So, this. Okay, car is all right. I don't know, $400,000+ front-engine supercar. Sorry about that. Yeah. That's a lot of money to spend on a supercar that looks, I'm gonna say it, I'm harsh here, but a bit bland. I don't know. Feels as if you could have put a lot more effort on the design. It is contiguous. It does work with the body. Like, they've not created anything ugly. It's just a bit basic, unfortunately. They've also got, like, normal car door handles. Like, there's nothing supercarish about the door handle as well. Fuel tank filler seems to be in a bit of an odd place as well. But yeah, so let's give this one a try. We've got full ESC. Yeah, we're going to turn that off. There we go. I'm making a rally car and it is a pain. Yes, they are painful. I'm stupid? Welcome, Dinosario. Why are you stupid? It's just typing. It said you mute. What? I hope I muted it. I was sniffing. It was gross. And it was, almost a sneeze. But like, the snorting of snot. Pretty gross. This thing likes to oversteer. A lot. Oh my god. So, yeah. Sketchy. It's sketchy, bro. Okay, yeah, alright, that came out a little bit better. Okay, you have to be very easy on the throttle. This thing revs up to 10,000 RPM. It feels like a fairly smooth power band as well. Ah! You know what? A supercar needs a lot more downforce than this. Unfortunately, this just doesn't have the downforce required. Oh my god. Okay, so, the sorts of people that can afford supercars. Middle-aged people and older. Probably have never driven cars like this before. So they're going to Mustang it around a corner and crash it. Because this is worse than a Mustang for handling. Super duper scary driving. I'm trying to induce oversteer with handbrake now, but that's because otherwise it's going to do it without my request, or without my permission, and it's going to become considerably more dangerous. So let's just get the music up quickly. Ah! Nah! That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. I've been here for 1 hour. I am so smart at it. I must have missed you. Sorry. I thought you had a nice big burp going. No. Looks like Viper and Civic had a baby. Yeah, you know what? Kind of a little bit. I do get your sort of idea there. Not sure how you feel about it. Yeah. It happens to him a lot, it seems. Wouldn't mind too much. What? Oh, not noticing people. A Hodge Cypher? Okay, then. More like a Hodgepodge Viper. Anyway. I can't wait until fueling becomes a thing in this game. That's going to be fun. Trying to slow down. The brakes on this are not particularly great either. Braking and turning is not great. That's what the problem is. I didn't realize that the collision came all the way down. I thought I could skirt underneath that. Skirt, skirt! I think this car is undercooked. It is okay to be new at the game. So I'm going to give you a free pass on that. This car's just... Is it all-wheel drive as well? It is all-wheel drive. And it still feels like it has too much oversteer. That is weird. That is not something I expected from this. Has it got hard long lives? No, it's got a sports combat. It's just a very coarse combat. Weird. Wait, hold on. Where's the figure 8? Ah, there it is. Let's drive it around this thing. There we go. Make this anti-clockwise. Okay. And let's give it a bit of a circuit race sort of feel. Okay. It's doing okay, actually. No, it's not. This thing needs so much more downforce to be worth $440-something thousand. I think if you had like maybe 4 times the amount of downforce and stiffer suspension, because it feels like a sports suspension. I think this thing would then be worth its price tag. As it stands though, yeah, not so great, bruh. Not so, oh god, what the fuck? Okay, that was weird. Caught a bad bounce? Weird. And in a flurry of falling off parts, we are going to give this thing a full score. Oh dear. Rang? Welcome, Lonnie Hodge Jr. How's it going? Sure, okay, I rang. My Xbox controller broke. Mine's not doing well either. I'm thinking of upgrading, but I just don't have the money for it, and I'm this close to running into money problems now. And if that had a son, it were a Hodgson? Okay, weird. But yeah, so let's go to home. The design, it's not bad, but also it's way too basic. Like, they didn't even make this very thick or very tall to fit the purpose of what that vent would be there for. The exhausts, I do like that they're vertical. It's just, what you should have done is placed 4 single turbos and not used a side dual exhaust. Should have used 4 single exhausts instead of 2 dual exhausts. Okay. So then that way you could have the one lined up there and then the top one lined out a little bit more. Probably could have done a better job. If you had have filled in this gap here, like what you've done is like what I had been doing with automation after like the first month or two. You're getting there, but there is so much further you could take this game if you're willing to dive deep. So design is like a 5. It's not bad, but it's also not good. The driving experience is not particularly great, and the realism is also not great. So the car gets like a 5.5. Like, it feels fun, but it feels fun for like a $25,000 car. Otherwise, the car it's no Ferrari or Lamborghini. By the way, is it good to have lots of cornering Gs on a car in automation? I'm building a car that has 1.46 short corner and 2.3 long corner. Good as long as the downforce values curves. So you're going to run into a few issues there. One of which is automation doesn't know how its own aero works when it gets exported to BeamNG. So there's a few things to watch out for. One of which, lips and spoilers don't add downforce, only wings do. And the size, so like your width and length, also matter a lot for your downforce when it comes into BeamNG. So that also doesn't get picked up by automation and does that wrong. And what's the other one? I can't think. There was another one. But anyway. So yeah. That will give you a completely bunged up idea of how much corner Gs you are getting at higher speeds. But yeah. Anyway. Cool. All-wheel drive Drift Boy. The Hoonie Goonie. Unfortunately, it doesn't handle well enough for me to give it much of a compliment of a Drift Boy. Because it does feel like it wants to oversteer a little too much. But then understeer on the corner exit weirdly sometimes. Unless you're flooring it way too much. But yeah, so that is going to be the end of the stream, though. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. So that includes you, Caden, FlameZ, IM3, Dino Zario, Lonnie R. Hodge. Scroll up to see some more. Crownless, thank you for coming by. FlameZ, I don't know if I've said thanks to you. Kyle Caesar, thank you for you. My voice. Pancake, thank you for you. You guys are about to see the special ending, which always gets cut out of my videos because of copyright being misused. Then we got that guy 33, thank you as well. And I believe the Midget Man, iLulz, yeah. When's the next stream? Same time next week, or maybe like an hour and a half earlier. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Now, enjoy the actually technically not copyright infringing ending to my stream. So we're just going to go ahead over to there. Bye. Not copyright infringing.